With nothing risked and nothing gained, take a risk or lose the chance. And if your why doesn't make you cry, then the price of success will probably be too high. But realize, your mind is like a t-shirt. When it stretch, it never go back to its original size. So just try. We all wanna get in big rooms for what we pursuing, but the biggest room in the world is room for improvement.
Realizing there's nothing that y'all could do with me. All I ever ask is keep it 8 more than 92 with me.
Welcome to our little podcast.
Episode 135, this is another podcast. Go ahead, y'all can talk now. You can speak freely.
You sure?
Wow.
Yeah.
We're off punishment?
Y'all off punishment.
Oh, okay, cool.
Y'all don't listen to the audio, I'm telling you. I'm like, what the Anyway. So, Kevin Samuels. When you think of Kevin Samuels, what do you think of?
I think about a man in his middle of age, let's call it mid-50s, that was able to leave an imprint on social media later in his career. Because I think most people don't realize that he had been on social media for such a long time, but he really, his impact or his height of his popularity was actually towards the end of his life.
Yeah.
And hold on, because I'm being rude. I got Crystal in here, Matt's in here, B. Hood's in here, Keith, Liddy, V, Willie Beeman, a.k.a. Top G, Chris Featherson, make sure you say the Featherson, Brother Els, Zane is in here, and as Chris has told me, I am the people's champ on TikTok. I am the people's champ. I'm here to give y'all a good pod. Make sure you
like, subscribe,
and hit the bell.
Hit the bell. Hit the bell.
Zane, when you think of Kevin Samuels, what do you think of? I really want to know this.
Honestly, I didn't know a lot about Kevin Samuels, like at all.
Be a professional, come on, man. You better know.
Yeah, my bad. Yeah.
You didn't know a lot about Kevin Samuels?
No, I didn't. But I was out at sea.
You missed that whole wave,
I missed
literally.
a lot. Yeah.
Damn. Wow.
Well, yeah.
They don't get the internet on the boat.
Yeah, I'm in the Navy.
You're not getting that internet.
Yeah.
Huh?
They be in patches.
Dang.
I was gone for like a year and a half.
Spots.
Dang.
Yeah, sorry.
That's crazy.
Yes.
Yeah, you're not getting YouTube and all that shit on the boat.
Dang.
No, we're not.
Damn.
See, that's why they be all fucking on the boat.
Oh, fuck.
I'm talking about you.
Oh,
That's
no.
what they do.
They ain't got nothing else to do.
Oh,
What you gonna
fuck
do?
it.
Yeah, it
You
makes
got-
sense.
Not the shrug. Look
get-
at you.
see,
You're like, damn,
you
we
eat,
was.
you eat, y'all probably do work and y'all fuck.
We cannot confirm or
right,
deny these
cool.
allegations. Yeah.
Protecting our freedom.
What about the other black ladies in the building today? How do y'all feel about Kevin Samuels?
Hate them.
Be honest.
No, I don't think anything like negative for me to like be honest about, but I just think that he really was trying to help, and he got a lot of flack on the internet for it because people just don't listen very well. And I think that if they did, I don't think there would be as much of an argument in general.
That's good.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Yeah.
He's just telling you, don't be fat if you want a nigga that goes to the gym.
I concur. V, what do you think?
I think that he saw a problem, and he was willing to, at least begin the conversation to solve the problem by any means necessary.
That's a good one.
Okay, so we're not. I don't have a Kevin Samuels hater detractor in the building.
We need some more polarity in the room.
Yeah, I don't have anybody in here that's like,
I need somebody like, fuck that nigga.
he died. Like, I don't have none of that. No, that's what they was doing on the internet.
You want me to
That's
switch?
kinda fucked up,
You want me to
though.
switch? You want me to be a detractor?
Somebody has to be. Goddamn.
Fuck that now.
Somebody has to
Let
be.
me ask y'all then. Why do y'all think
opinion.
women were celebrating his death?
I was about to say
Let's go
that.
there.
I think that some of them, I don't know how I worded it, but
Don't be PC. Just say what you
No
say. Say what you
PC.
wanna say.
PC.
No,
That's number 9.
I think that a lot of women, they don't understand authority.
No.
So, because he had a lot of authority is what it was. And it can come off scary to a lot of women that are not used to a certain tone or a certain amount of authority. He demanded a certain amount of attention. And so it'll offend them if they don't understand that type of person, that type of tone of authority. And when they're telling them about themselves, that they're not used to constructive criticism. So
I was about to say.
I think when I'm gonna start with the clips is because he spoke to men first. At the beginning of his journey online, it was all about trying to get men to be better. Cologne, yeah, exactly. He was doing stuff like that. Yeah. So we're gonna start with that clip first to set the tone, because he was talking to men way harsher than he was talking to women at the beginning. So we're gonna go that way.
Losers, quitters, people have always found a way to justify losing. Now, I'm gonna chime in specifically on black men. Black men got this really bad because we have been history's losers in these states. But guess what? If you overweight, undereducated, don't care about your image or impression, don't care about how you come across, can't talk to anyone, can't communicate, speak like in ebonics, you loser. What defines a loser in your eyes? That's the point. It's not a matter of defining a loser in my eyes. How about this? Look at your results. Look at your results. And instead of saying, well, what defines a loser in your eyes? Someone who has who has a scarcity mentality, someone who always believes that the glass is half empty, somebody who comes in here questioning. I mean, honestly, I'm not trying to be rude, but that's not even a winner's. Losers, quitters, people have all
body that shit. What do y'all thought? I mean, because when you see how he's talking to women, it's the same. He's holding black men to the same accountability.
I think that's always been missed with Kevin Samuels. Like, it always came off like he was just saying this on one side, like, oh, he was talking to women, talking down to black women, when I think he was talking up to black women, honestly speaking. And I think he was trying to hold black men accountable as well. Like, I never came across a Kevin Samuels clip and was like, no, he shouldn't have said that. Maybe the delivery could have been, a little bit better. People loved a sweeter delivery. However, nobody ever called him a liar. He never spoke an untruth. Everything he said was backed behind fact or numbers or something you can look up. So I didn't think he spoke ill against anybody. I think he just told people what they needed to hear.
But I think Kevin Samuels found his groove because the internet is driven by polarity.
Yeah.
And so I think for him, like you said, if he would have said these things without being so polarizing, we probably would not have paid as much attention.
Right.
The internet is driven by people saying things that create a reaction or emotion. And so what happened was with women, the things he was saying with women created a greater reaction, one side or the other. And I think that's what kind of drove his clips to be viral, because he said things on purpose to create the reaction, to create the dialogue. And so I think if he said it, like he at least said, okay, here's how I see things. Even if we all disagreed with it, he said it in a way that at least allowed people to chime in and react to it.
I think, personally, he was more of like, he presented a fatherly advice or a fatherly angle to a lot of fatherless women. And I think that's goes to what V said. A lot of the women that hated what he said, I can bet money that they didn't have any fathers in their life, because that's how fathers speak to a degree. They don't sugarcoat what they have to say. And I wanted to ask y'all, I'm like, do you think women would really, really receive certain messaging when it's sugarcoated like that?
I think they get a lot of it. I mean, if you honestly, before they even speak, I feel like he found his voice through going on the other side. Like, we all talk about the Derek Jacksons of the world. There's a lot of men that's on the internet that are, on the other side of things. I think he found a lane for him in his messaging to create a different conversation. And I think I heard someone say, like, when he first passed, his real intent, like when he would talk about it, like, off camera, was really to call black men and black women to be better for each other.
Yeah.
And I think that's the part that gets missed, is like you said, like, at the end of the day, black women can have the space to be better wives to black men, and black men definitely have the space to be better husbands and brothers and fathers to the people that they serve. So there is an overall, I think no one here would disagree that there's areas of opportunity for, especially for the minority culture, for us to be better to each other. And I think people saw him being divisive, but it was really like, no, bro, like, we can be better husbands. As a whole, we can be better wives. We can improve the marriage. Like, I think he was pro-marriage, and people didn't understand that.
Yeah,
100%.
he was.
It was divisive to your ego. That's what it was. It felt divisive to you because you were attached to your ego, and that's what got you to your point now. So when he spoke to certain things that your ego got you, or overweight, or all that, that's ego. You saying I'm beautiful the way I am, and you're not really. You're overweight and your cholesterol is high.
And the world,
that's your ego, right? That's your ego saying, "Oh, you're fine." You're not. and it's okay. And that's what and I think it's just the tough love thing. There's a tough love side to love, and a lot of people didn't really receive love how they should have. They received one-sided. That goes back to the single mother thing. Single mothers are going to give you that soft love as they should. And then it speaks to how glaring our absences are. Like you said, Willie, a few weeks ago. Like a man's presence or absence is felt regardless if he's present or if he's absent. It's going to make ripples throughout the family and generations to come. And I think he was trying to fill that gap. And I think that's what got him up out of here. We can go to the conspiracy theories and all that stuff. But I think if it's just we taking it at face value, I think him trying to talk to all these women, it's going to get you up out of here.
Put a target on his back.
No, and it's just stress.
Yeah.
When you're trying to speak logic, literally speak logic into a void. Because if we watch some of these videos,
he said telling women the truth killed him. God damn,
I'm telling you.
He said he was so stressed out here from telling them the truth. They was on his neck.
And them Red Bulls, man, them Red Bulls, trying to talk to all these women every night. Man, nah, that's not good for your mental health. And it ain't like these women. I'm telling you, and I saw when I was watching
it was good for his mental health. It was leading to that bank account going up. He was living life.
That's gonna be another topic, y'all. Money don't feed your health.
I agree, but he seemed real. Y'all be talking about me not looking happy. He looked happy on him. He was living.
No, bro.
He was in a
look
good
at his
space.
videos, he did not look happy.
He looked stressed during the video.
A couple of times he mentioned, he was like, if this is going to be the death of me, then this is what I got to pay for. That's what he would say, because y'all stressed. He was some conversations when he would talk, he was like, all right, we're going to go there. He said, I realize y'all going to be the death of me, but if this is what I got to do later in my life to get it, he said, I'll do it. He used to say it often. Because I think he knew.
I watched one of his live shows, one of the live shows I watched, and he was just taking all positive criticism. And the dude teared up a few times because a lot of women were calling, talking about, you helped my marriage, you saved this, you saved that, you helped me break generational curses. Every time a woman called and was saying that stuff, you could tell it was sitting on him heavy. So if the positive stuff was sitting on him that heavy, I can only imagine what the negative was, because he was getting much more negative. From other spaces. So that's just my opinion.
But I thought he did a really good job. I'm not saying that it wasn't happening before him, but I thought he brought some conversations to the forefront. No matter what side we land on, even if you're a hater, the topic was needed. There was an opportunity for us to have broader conversations about the role of black men and black women, specifically for our community, and kind of what does that look like in this modern era. And like you said, I think there was a lot of like eggshells when it came to black women and black men, because the idea of like, again, we want to be uplifting, and we had this conversation me and Kadeem used to talk about all the time.
Black men, though.
Yeah, no, but the idea is like the criticism. Like there's this idea in the black community that if I fuck with you, I should support everything you do, no matter what.
Oh yeah,
and I think that was the conversation that we all were used to. Like, hey, if we want to uplift each other, it was like, let's just support everything that's black. Let's support everything that's going on. Like even like you said, black men, we might say, hey, yeah, they have it hard in general, but I guess in the black community, it was like, oh, let's uplift them. But there wasn't a lot of conversations about, okay, what are some of the things that we can do outside of being uplifted? Well, how can we call each other up and out for each other? And I think that's the conversation. The women always felt like they had to cover black men, and black men always felt like women didn't do enough, but there wasn't like a broader conversation about like where are the opportunities within that dynamic. And I think, again, the women conversation was more polarizing. It did better for social media. Women are just better supporters in general. So
whether they like it or not.
Right. So his audience was probably 65, 70 women, men.
Yeah.
So it made sense for him to lean more into the women conversation, but like you said, he equally talked about both early in his career.
Let me ask y'all, as y'all are coaches, and y'all feel like y'all uplift y'all players, right?
For sure.
Are y'all always complimenting y'all players, or do sometimes y'all look at their flaws and what they're doing wrong?
You got to criticize for the culture.
Is that a part of uplifting?
Yeah.
Like I said, it's a lacking of perspective.
Even down to these hoodies. Everybody got on. I make sure it's a top quality product. I don't be like, yo, I got a black business, support me because I'm black. No, nigga. Right. What if you're... And what did you said? What? JC Penney's. Oh, hey, no.
Everybody don't get that. Everybody don't get that line.
I don't either. Look, I went from not having anything to I never shopped at JC Penney,
over
bro.
The head. No, it's over your heads.
Y'all got me.
It's all right, man.
Let's do it.
Class act, man. Come on, man.
Criticize for the culture, man. Stop telling people what they want to hear.
I was trying to think of the movie. I was thinking More Money, but Class Act. Yeah,
Class Act, man.
Yeah, that was. Top of the line.
Oh,
come on, y'all.
My fault. I missed that.
Sorry.
I got another one for y'all.
People don't tell women the truth these days. Men get told the truth all the time. Women have no problem telling a man, I don't want an average man. It happens every day on my show. TLC said they don't want no scrubs, and we have no problem telling average men, you ain't crap. But if I just happen to have the nerve to agree with a woman that says she's average, then I'm Satan. I think that's interesting. People don't tell women the truth.
That's it.
I think it's interesting too. Go ahead, Zayna. There we go. Look, you triggered. Let's go.
Yeah, come on.
Zayna, like, I don't know what to say. They be coming for me in the comments.
We don't want this room to be an echo chamber, yo. Come on, let's get some disagreement.
Zayna, don't care about what they say in the comments, man.
I mean, I don't care regardless,
There we
but
go.
I just feel like, I think I said something like this on, I think it was Instagram. I just feel like black men, there's no other race of men that are this hard on their women. Black men are very hard on black women. Like, y'all do tell us the truth. It's not always about, oh yeah, we can't tell you guys the truth. That's
Hey,
not the
look at
case.
Keith's face.
I feel like y'all take
Go ahead.
I feel like there is a smaller group of women, right, who is like, I don't want scrubs, or you got to pay this, you got to do that. And I think we was talking about this last time I was here, like the hoes versus the women or something like that. Y'all take that group and y'all run with it. Oh, all women are like this. All women don't want a man that works. All women want to drug. That's not true. That's not true.
How are we hard on y'all?
Because if it's not our clothes, it's the hair. If it's not the hair, it's we make too much. If we don't make too much, we don't make enough. Like, it's always something.
I don't think she's talking about. I don't think she's talking about you men.
No.
Yeah,
I'm saying
like we have a good amount of women in the room.
Not
Y'all
y'all on the
ever
couch.
been in situations where a man said y'all make too much?
Yes.
Yes.
Mm.
Yes.
It's a lot of them out there.
I'll say this.
I've had men. Who
I don't think we're hard on y'all. I think we are in lower states, so y'all have to deal with a lower state of man. I think that's what it is. I don't think it's necessarily that we're oppressing y'all, it's that we don't know how to deal with our own shit. So we put it out on y'all, and y'all are the first people or the closest people to us, so y'all feel it the most.
Hey Chris, but that's exactly where I was going to go. Because when she was talking about us being hard on each other, I think that's what Kevin Samuels was doing, trying to originally do the opposite. I think there's too much attention spent on each other instead of self-reflection and self-help. So there has to be separation to create elevation. So there has to be a time where the black man needs to focus on being a better black man before they enter into relationships, and that's what he was calling out. If you look at his early feedback up to men, it wasn't go out there and do this for your woman, do this. It was, nah, bro, go be on your grind, get educated, work your finances, get mental help, improve your network, put yourself in a space that when you do show up for that woman, you are a better man holistically. You have the ability to provide. And I think too much, especially in our community, and Chris said this, I think we tend to lean on relationships way too soon. We literally 21 years old, we're already looking for women for validation. Women are looking for men for validation. Why? When you haven't even proven to yourself who you think you are.
Exactly.
You don't even know who you are at all.
Absolutely.
I agree, because he's been on a few videos where he's been talking to dudes. He'd be like, man, you shouldn't even be in a relationship at all.
Yeah.
And it's just that simple. I
People
agree.
miss those clips though.
I agree. I don't think we're necessarily hard on y'all. I'll just say what I said before, but I think, if you look at other cultures, Chinese men.
Right. I'm about to say this. I was waiting for my turn.
Somebody, because I was like, come on, man. Like if we saying who's hard on who, it's not us on them, bro.
I think what's going on here is you're not intentionally, but because, like you said, there's a large group of men, it's indirectly, it's very hurtful because we've realized, because you don't see and you don't know
It's very
better,
public.
You don't know how stressful that is on us to not meet the certain standard. Now, we're not talking about these women y'all think we're not. This is like a person like me, her, like average female who is trying in their life and they mean well with good intentions.
Where's my chapstick?
We will get a lot of men that automatically perceive like, okay, you own a house, you have a decent paying job.
Yeah.
Oh, so you think you're independent? Oh, no, I'm just a self-sufficient individual. But they have these insecurities they're projecting. And it's like, I didn't tell you. You want to know these things, and then instead of being like, "Oh, you're self-sufficient," you have a negative outlook because of things that they're being fed.
Your own insecurity.
Yeah, the same way. In the same way, where you're saying, "Oh, you guys aren't talking." We're not talking about you guys sitting on the couch. Well, you can't say that in the same breath and say, "Oh, well, we deal with a lot of men." You deal with a lot of males like that, not men. Like, I speak for everybody up here. There are men in this room that don't feel like that. Now, I think there's a lot of men outside. Hold on. Let me finish my thought. Hold on.
Go ahead.
I think there's a lot of men outside of this room that will subscribe to a woman taking care of herself, and that's fine. Like, nobody has any objection towards that. What you are dealing with is a guy that has nothing going for him, probably, has never dealt with that caliber of women, so he has no idea what he's getting himself into. So it's kind of scary. It's kind of nerve wracking. So the only thing he has to do is to put you down, or try to keep you in a place where he can regulate that kind of woman. Like if you're dealing with a man that's used to that, you're not going to have somebody that's like, oh, well, you make too much money. What? That sounds crazy to me.
I think that it's not even like the men that women are necessarily dealing with. These are men that we're coming across, and that is majority of the men. It's not. There, mind you,
I'm sorry. I gotta take over. No. I'm sorry. Hey, Mike. I'm calling A Mike Power right now. Listen, guys, but be for real. Let's be because okay, I'm gonna roll with y'all. Sometimes some black men can be hard on black women, but if we do know that most women don't even mess with the majority of men, because most of these guys are by themselves, they're single, they're not getting no action. So y'all selecting this same caliber. Hold on.
That's fact.
And then if we go back to just Kevin Samuels' content. Who's really hard on who? If most women want a 6-figure earner, the nigga to be 6'4" like Chris, the nigga you ripped up abs. Who's really hard on who? I was gonna let y'all pander on my show, but I cannot sit idle and watch this any further.
How tall are you? He's taller than me. Call his name out.
No. They want the Chris's of the world.
Okay,
they want the Keeses of the world.
I agree.
These tall,
I
you know what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying.
So who's really hard on who? Y'all, we're all gonna. Yes, we here at this. No, we here at this show.
Kadeem is right.
We here at this show are all about being a better man and women not giving sex to a guy that they already feel like is not on that level. But at the end of the day, we know these women want a guy with the big whip, the big watch, the big house, everything big. Big paycheck.
That is not
But what I think V was saying was, she was saying that not even in the relationship. She's saying that just through normal men interactions, they're hearing this thing from men in their circle.
Yes, that's what I was about to say. I'm not saying, because I ain't dealing with no man like that, but I'm saying that these are the conversations. Like, I have a lot of men in my family, and guys that I come across and that I know, and I work in a male-dominated. These are the conversations, and I'm hearing them, not them talking to me. I'm hearing these conversations. Now, this is my personal experience, but there are multiple women who are also hearing these things, and they're not men. They are adult males that are immature males, and I get that. I understand. I give them grace because I realize they don't, just like some women don't have a lot of good examples or of men and women in their life. There's men like that. I get that, but because of that, it is the women would hear someone like Kevin Samuels and put them in the same category. Or he's criticizing too, just like them men, and it's not the same. They don't have the discernment to tell the difference between the two, because maybe they don't have a male figure in their life that has shown them the difference between. I know the difference because I have men in my family, so I knew what they were. But every woman don't have that discernment to tell the difference. But it is a lot of guys like that who are.
But you could flip that generalization back on the head on the women.
That's what I'm saying. To generalize.
It's not just about that though, because when we're saying like men are hard on women, it's also just like words have weight, even if it shouldn't. Positive or negative words have weight, right? So if we have 100 people screaming at us all of their fucking opinions, all these men, regardless of if they have it or don't, like a mix, mix it all around. Throw it at the wall, a mix of a whole bunch of different men, and you would only date maybe 2 of them. It doesn't fucking matter because we all hear the weight of all the men's opinions.
Yeah, but then some of our best clips are me. You going into generalization. These N-words don't take care of their kids. That's come on, man. What are you talking
about? It's self-absorbed, bro.
I hear you.
It's a self-absorbed perspective.
Well, I'm just saying.
To generalize,
but that's okay. No, I'm saying, but when women do that to black men, it's okay. When women say black men be broke, it's not okay in here, but it is. That's the general public. It's okay. It's acceptable.
No, you're giving them bail. Because it's okay out there either. I don't see none of y'all good women talking against these sisters that have been talking bad about us for 20, 30 years.
That's true. Wait.
Y'all don't come out in droves like y'all do.
Hold on, Chris.
Thank you for the fuck shit.
The point is proven by what he just said in that clip. Y'all go out there and sing "No Scrubs." Y'all don't want y'all. You like that song, don't you?
As an anthem.
It's a Grammy Award winner. You know you like that song.
Sitting in your bed.
Sitting in the passenger side.
When that song came out, and I was the age, I didn't even know what that was.
Come on, like we're not gonna play. Like that's not a Grammy Award winning song.
Ladies, leave your man at home. The club is full of ballers.
But my thing is,
y'all like that song.
It's a song though.
Okay, y'all like that.
But No, this
Can you pay my bills? Can you like all these?
So we're just not gonna go down the list of
that doesn't
songs,
mean
y'all.
that's who you
Y'all
are.
here screaming.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
I live my rap speed.
No, she's right. Zaynab right.
She had a point.
Zaynab
Come on
right.
now, y'all not gonna go.
here.
And
Go
I'm
ahead,
not.
Zaynab.
I don't have to go down the list,
What's
but
it?
there
What
are
is it?
more. I feel like there are a lot of songs, especially in the past, where I feel like women are just now catching up with making music
With toxicity.
I don't
and
think
men
so.
are upset. What?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
So
at all.
y'all were just in here blasting Drake.
I'm gonna have
like,
to agree.
what?
I'm gonna have to agree with Zaynab.
Okay, go ahead.
We got
Men-
to
Give me some.
all
Okay.
of them.
What?
Thank
wait,
you.
give me
I
some.
can just give you our
Give me
future.
some.
You still got
Give me
Drake.
some
Any-
songs. Give me some songs.
Okay, I can't just pop
that
up
are
a
as
song
big
out
as
of
No
the shot. Know what I'm
Scrubs.
talking about?
That are as big as No Scrubs.
No
Go ahead.
Scrubs is not that big of a track.
What? Excuse me?
It was
Not
a
that
hit
big
when
of
it
a
was a
track.
hit.
A Grammy
If
Award
we're
song.
talking about Future
Wait a minute.
and
It's still been played
what are the
now.
Grammys? We know the Grammys are going to elevate that.
But it's
that-
still been played now.
But if we're talking Future, one of the biggest artists out of Atlanta.
Okay.
We have the majority stake in talking bad about women.
Okay, let me ask you a
You still
question,
have
Rich.
the Yang twins.
Let me ask the room a
Come on,
question.
like-
Let me ask the room a question. What was the biggest song of last year?
I don't know.
I'm F-I-E-E.
But we already we're acknowledging the fact that women are just now catching up
Okay,
to
tell
the
me a song
toxicity.
tell me a song in the 90s, in the early 2000s.
Y'all.
It was all the music.
Yo, hold on. Can we just agree two wrongs don't make a right?
It doesn't.
Wait,
doesn't.
wait.
Okay,
We
we can erase that
Tell me
then.
a song that's uplifting to women.
No.
Or-
I'm talking about the songs that have that was a Grammy Award winning song in the 90s that was just reeling into men.
That was really intimate.
Like Hot Girl Summer, F&F.
I don't have one.
The only people that
And-
were
and you don't have one of those either.
Name how many rappers just from the Bay that was talking about bitch and all this other
but they're not a great. But they're not a.
language, but I'm
they're-
just
no,
saying.
You know what's funny
The
though?
only
The
people
women
that
be
were
in the
doing
club
it back
saying
in the
bitch
early
harder than
in the
any of the
90s.
dudes.
The only people.
I'm speaking
She
to
asked-
that. I'm
she asked me
speaking
a
to
question.
that.
Now-
I'm speaking to that argument to say that it's not
You
like
moved the
there's-
goalpost though. You said name me a song in the '90s that was a Grammy Award winning that was like defamation.
I said on that level.
Right,
Excuse
but then you said, oh, there's a million songs that are calling women bitches. Well, okay, there's a lot of women, a lot of songs that women had against men.
I was giving you a hint
but they
of the
weren't
song that I
Grammys.
was referencing from the
Yeah,
back.
I get you. I'm with you, but you moved the goalpost a little bit when you got it on your
I feel
side.
like you wanting us to pop off names of songs off the top of
Yeah.
our head is just kind of
'Cause there's so many.
Because if you were alive in the 90s, early
You know what
2000s,
we're talking
you
about.
know what we're talking about.
I
All the
was.
music.
What we're talking
The
about.
only
I was,
women that was
That
really
song won a
doing
Grammy
was
for a
talking shit
reason,
about
though.
men or talking about fucking effing men and getting money
Okay,
was
hold on,
Little
hold on.
Kim.
But
She
hold
got
on.
canceled.
But hold on.
She didn't get canceled. She went to
Little
jail.
Kim
That
definitely
song
got
won a
canceled.
Grammy
She
for a
went to jail.
reason. They want us to be divisive with each other. They want us to talk shit
Exactly.
about each other.
That's my
Both
point.
are not right. Men have
That's
done
my
it
point.
more. I'm going to take ownership for every man in this room. All of our songs that we listen to denigrate women more.
I know,
Period.
but like
And it's-
my point was they be right in the club screaming it to the top of their
But
lungs.
hey, but they not
Not
the
saying-
heads. They not the heads, are they?
They,
Are they
but
the
when,
heads?
what
But
Willie
we
said
can't-
about
no,
hold
but
up,
we
no,
can't
time
at the
out
same-
because
we can't-
when Kevin Samuels was talking to men, was he as big as he is when he started talking to women?
Women consume more.
Exactly.
We're
So
not talking
music
about-
is something that they also consume, bro.
We're not talking
if
about.
they said,
are
yo,
we talking
F
about
this,
money making or moving the shit forward?
we talking about what making it popular.
Wait.
Right.
If we're talking about moving
Of what
forward,
makes shit
women move
popular?
Who
everything
are the
forward.
heads?
Yeah.
Who are the heads? Are we the
in a
heads?
relationship,
Who
in
are
a
the-
relationship,
No,
yes.
in the world.
No,
who are the heads?
we're not though.
We
As
can't
far as
do
that,
that. We can't say in the
I agree-
households we the
I agree-
heads. Out in the world we
I
not.
agree that.
Who
I agree
leads
with
the
that.
shit?
Chris,
I agree with that.
I agree with you.
But as far as
do we-
consumer,
do we or do we not?
No, in certain ways we don't. In certain ways we don't.
No.
That's us. But that's
the
us.
truth.
I'm sorry, but that's us
You good?
moving the
You hitting me,
goalpost.
bro?
Chris,
Damn.
No, that's moving.
Why y'all get so hurt?
Chris, you said we heard.
That's us
Yeah,
moving the
like, why
goalpost.
y'all get
We
so
moving
hurt?
But F and F ain't
Yes,
hurt.
no.
There it is.
I have a serious
There it
question,
is.
right? And it's
Twerking
the same
outside of
thing.
your car
saying
This is
F
the
and
same
F ain't
thing.
hurt.
I don't know if y'all seen a YSL trial documentary or whatever, right? And we talk about how music is a form of entertainment, a form of expression. But it's like if women go in the club and we sing F and F to the top of our lungs, then it's like, oh look, she's a hoe. Look, guys, look.
She
But
is
it's
a-
also.
I didn't call her a hoe. I didn't call her a hoe.
She's not.
No,
I've been. No,
You definitely called me a bird for singing F&F out the top of your porch one day.
A bird and a hoe are two different
I was
things.
hitting that shit.
Wait, but
out
the thing is,
sunroof.
but what Kadeem really hit on something, and we're missing it. As much as y'all are saying these songs are defamating women, y'all be singing the same shit in the club.
Okay, but you know what? No. Let's move away from the club.
Let me finish my statement first, please. y'all saying these things as if y'all aren't playing these songs in your house. Y'all not playing these songs in the car, in the club. Y'all are playing these same songs everywhere. Y'all know the words more than we know the words. So you can't be defamed. Don't make faces like you don't know the songs. Right, because if we go in your library right now, I bet you have the same songs that I do.
You're gonna find some classical.
Hey, but look,
some Beethoven.
But wait,
music.
hold on. But
Go ahead, Willie.
Chris,
Okay, everybody has Yolanda Adams in their phone.
but Chris is
You're
right.
right. You're right.
Hold on.
Hold on, no, but I agree with Chris. First and foremost, rap music, entertainment, all that is a male-dominated environment. Rap music is a male-dominated environment. The men are the ones at the record labels that are putting the music out. I actually agree. I think men have for years, the biggest flaw in this conversation is that they find validation through the women. So even in the music is telling the men to find validation into the women. So it makes men, instead of them uplifting them and telling them to go be better men, they're telling them to find validation through their body count, to how many bitches you got, how many cars, how many clothes you got.
You're saying rap music to other men.
Right.
I thought you were saying because women do validate the music as well.
What I'm saying is, but the men, we've brainwashed ourselves to believe that's where we should put our focus in first. When I was 18, 19 years old, I had more thoughts about how many bitches can I smash than degrees and studying abroad and all
why
that
is
stuff.
that though?
Thank you for being truthful.
Because music, it kind of puts your validation in that space.
Okay,
we thought
right.
that money, cars, clothes, and hoes
Again,
was
why
our
is that,
validation.
Willie?
The music
is the culture.
the culture.
And who controls the culture?
Men.
And what kind of men?
All, white and black men.
No, not black.
Why- we can say
No.
white men.
Thank you.
That goes to
Thank you.
that's what I said about your Grammy nominated.
That's why I said-
there's a reason why that song won a Grammy, y'all.
Okay, you're right.
White men wanted
It's as
that.
simple as that.
Right.
That song was not that
And
great.
goes
I'm
to my
sorry, it
point I'm
wasn't
trying
that
to make.
groundbreaking.
It's not us against y'all, and y'all are not against us. The world is against us both.
I think the point that at least I was trying to make was that these type of songs, it's not like, well, you did it first or he did it first. Well, look at what y'all singing now. There are only a few people who can be entertained by that song and know that that's not how you live life.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But majority of the time, which we know that majority of people are sheep. So,
Yes.
but black men who were the entertainers who were being controlled by these white men, right?
Controlled.
And you know, they were giving them the product. You were creating this
We was
type
being
of
hoed
product
out.
in the 90s.
It's weird because it's almost like a
No,
chick.
say it, V. We was being hoed out. That's what was happening.
That's
We was
what I'm
selling
saying.
out. That's the biggest
and
sellout you can
and
be.
my thing is like Chris was saying, you guys are the leaders. You took that bait and you ran with it, and now
For
that
some
black,
money,
and
like
now
a
that
hoe.
black
But
women
it's a
are
weird-
just
no,
now.
hold up, no, it's a weird-
but now
it's a
that
weird
black women
cycle,
are
though.
just now doing it, it's like,
not
see
just
what
now
y'all
doing
doing, but y'all
Right.
been doing it.
And y'all been
No,
profiting
no,
off of it.
I'm a-
Y'all been
it's-
profiting
I'm
off
not
of
letting
it
y'all get
also.
that off.
It's a
From
weird
the-
cycle
wait.
because the
I'm never
dude
gonna
that
let y'all
gets
get
to
that
be the
off.
mega star, the women still want him no matter what his music's about.
Exactly.
It's a
What a
vicious
hoe-ass
cycle.
nigga.
You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? No, because
Then
he
they
makes the
wonder why
music,
niggas
right?
wonder why
It don't
niggas
matter
ain't
if
shit.
all of us just like the music. You don't end up being a super mega star. The women have to help make you a star.
Exactly.
So
That's
once
why-
you become a star, and then you're still
That's
more
why-
attractive, they're waiting for you outside your tour bus. They're waiting
Exactly
at
my
your hotel.
point.
All of it across the board, like
Women
Willie said,
are
is
easy.
It
validation.
be
Wait,
men
wait,
out
wait.
there with the
Wait,
women.
To your,
too.
Oh, man, it don't
are
be
easy.
It be
Wait,
men.
to your point, Kadeen. To your point, Kadeen.
It be
standing
men
out there
sitting out there like, yo,
You're not-
it
she's not
be-
wrong.
I'm from
She's
Atlanta.
not
It be
wrong.
niggas out there too.
That's
I'm sorry. I don't
weird.
even know.
They be full
Yes.
I'm sorry,
Yes.
that's weird. I'm not
Take my
true.
mixtape. It's 2019.
That's true.
But he
Who
trying
got
to-
a mixtape?
He's trying to get on so he can be where that dude is, so you can be
Exactly.
outside
So
the
you
same.
can't say it's just.
But to your
One mic,
point,
one mic, one mic, one mic, one mic.
I had to switch it up because y'all were all in here agreeing, and I needed to get somebody's temperature up. Like y'all are
Good.
tripping in
To
here.
your point,
Good,
Kadeen.
I'm with
and-
it.
and
Hold
to
up,
his
hold up.
point-
Next clip.
Oh, go ahead, go
I
ahead.
was like,
Never
y'all
mind.
talk- that's all this
We can leave
kumbaya
it.
shit in here
We can
today.
talk
What's
about
up?
after.
You can tell me.
I'm gonna tell y'all.
Modern men have realized they cannot save modern women. Modern women must save themselves and learn how to get along with the men they say they want. Don't save her. She don't want to be saved. You can't save her. You cannot save her.
Y'all like it?
So what do you end up having? You have men who are unhappy, women who are lonely. But ladies, understand something, that these men have far more opportunities than you do. This is the crux of this show. This is a men's channel. I'm an advocate for men, and men want women, but they want women who are on board with making them happy. And today, it's like modern women are become insufferable. Modern men.
I think that's just goes back to what Willie was talking about the focus needing to be internal. Like a lot of women, you know, you can say exactly what you want, but what are you? Like assess yourself, because a man can't do that for you. And if he did, you're not going to hear it anyway. Mm-hmm. You got to look inside and say, okay, what am I? Is that desirable? Period.
Do you look inside yourself with the delusions of what other people have told you are and what you think you are? Or
that's part of the work, too.
Because men got to know, like, when he would tell a dude, like, hold up, you make $40,000, you 40 pounds overweight, you don't need to be talking to nobody.
Anybody.
Right. And a man just takes that feedback like, you're right,
chin.
sir. Yeah, I have to. But women don't take it like that. It'd be an uproar when he told her she was average at best.
Because people tell her otherwise. Men that make $40,000 and are 40 pounds overweight don't get told, hey, bro.
No guy's like, yo, you killing shit out here, bro. Not a man.
Nobody gets told that.
And we gotta mention it. Did everybody in the room see that chick?
Yeah.
Yes.
She wasn't average, bro. She was below average. I'm sorry.
And
Oh yeah, he was being polite.
Nice.
Yes, thank you. Yes.
That's what he's saying. I'm being nice. By
That was hella nice.
But you know, the crazy thing about it, I watched it when that was dropped or when that happened, and I was thinking when she was like in the beginning of it, if I can remember, I don't. She was talking about, I want a guy that does this and that, and all I could think in my head was, I'm like, maybe I'm shallow, but you don't look like.
She wasn't attractive. She wasn't
and
attractive.
my mind was beauties and out of beholders. I don't know what men like because I don't see what they.
I hate that saying.
That
I
would take a
know
very
why it's a saying.
No, because
It is. It's true. It's true.
It's kind of true, but I can't be the same model that Chris can because beauty's not in the eye of the beholder.
It is in the eye of the beholder. No. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder is saying, subscribe to who likes you.
We're not talking about that, bro.
We tend to not.
We're talking about the actual standards of beauty.
No,
But the standards are beauty
No, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Everybody out here has somebody that will look at them and be like, oh, I like them. That's it.
Okay.
But the problem is that woman in that video, the woman that see her and say, that's my woman, she don't like him. That was her problem. That's why she's single. Because I own a pet grooming business and I can get a weave. So now I feel like I'm too good for the man that actually genuinely likes me.
That's what I was about to say. I was going to say, well, maybe some guy might find her beautiful because of personality. And then she started talking about all these things and criticizing.
She might not have a lot.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know how many beholders she has.
So
And that goes to Kadeem. That disconnected, because what Kadeem is saying is not wrong, because she might have 4 guys that like her for real, because she's below average. She's not gonna have the same hundreds and hundreds of men that another guy has, but she still has people that find her beautiful. But that's the problem. That's why she was on the phone with Kevin. Because she looking at them dudes, and them dudes ain't up to a
why are
certain
there
standard.
supermodels? Why are there levels?
No,
in
but
this? I'm so confused.
but Kevin,
It's still levels.
No,
because it's not in the eye of the beholder.
No, but Kevin.
There's standards. Yes, anecdotally, yes, you might find somebody that you like.
Okay,
We're
but
talking
this
about in the
beauty thing is about how widely you can cast your net.
Exactly. That's what I just said.
Sea of men find you attractive, and then that sea of men that you want don't match up with you. They're not looking for you.
Yeah,
That's
but that's because people don't understand that that's the polarity between men and women. A man's value primarily is tied to their resources and their results. That's what he wanted to say. But he wanted to tell women, unfortunately, your resources and results are not your number one value.
You are the resource.
Right. So honestly, though, and this is what sucks, and this is what he said to a lot of women, and they got mad about it. Your number one value, or how men initially value, or your validation, comes from your beauty. So he was assessing beauty for women, resources, and results in men, and they hated that conversation.
And deeper than that, beauty is just not a surface level thing. It's connected to how we subconsciously view health.
Yep.
Period.
Your face.
Symmetry, all that stuff.
Yeah.
How we subconsciously view health.
Right.
And
then-
I look at it like health is really health. It's not, oh, you're healthy because you feel healthy. Sometimes you're not. You're not healthy, fam.
And it's a long-term mindset, because if a child with this woman, how many birth defects are they going to have?
Yeah.
Period.
Primal.
And that's something that y'all don't want to go through. Trust me. It's something. It's real. It's something that you live a lifetime with.
So it's like
Period.
beauty is in what the person values.
Say that again.
Beauty is in what the person values.
That can be beautiful too. But I'm talking about when we first see each other. I think we don't understand that subconsciously it's a connection to health. It's a connection to what your children are going to deal with. It's a connection to what you're going to deal with. It's deeper than just the surface level stuff.
In
That's just
addition to
me.
the surface.
Yeah.
I can
There's sexual attraction when you first.
I'm about to say, yeah.
like,
I just wanted to be clear. I
about to say,
but that's
nobody's like, you know what?
People not
am I gonna have birth defects?
Will my child have diabetes?
Come on.
It's the
When
same.
you saw Crystal, you were not thinking about that.
Too many people. Too many people talk.
Subconsciously, y'all. That's why I said
Well, my
subconsciously.
son has diabetes.
We still living beings, bro.
All right.
We just joking.
The health and the sex and the kids is connected, nigga.
No, you're
It
right.
is, 'cause even
But
now-
I'm just saying in the gym when she walked by, my first thing was more primal and surface level. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, but
there's
even if
levels
she's
to it, like
beautiful,
y'all
she's
said.
beautiful.
We
She
get
got a
this
club
two
foot.
and three,
Like
but-
you gonna think about that.
Tier 1.
The first one
Am
is
I
the text message
attracted
like,
to it?
"Hey, bro, you see her."
I feel like a part of it too also is that these conversations aren't starting like at the house,
Yeah.
in the homes, because I think we hold fathers and black men very accountable for being there for their young black sons and teaching a boy how to be a man, but we don't hold the black mothers accountable for teaching that little girl how to be a woman and what's valuable to that man.
What's the
what
definition
makes
of
you
woman?
a good woman, right? Like holding yourself accountable, because we could have these conversations, but these are conversations you have with yourself later on down the line.
That's true.
Like,
But yeah, but
and-
what is your mom telling you? Like,
But-
there's moms out there that are telling their daughters how to
Right.
be a good woman, but
There
what
are.
are the what's the definition?
But there's the opposite too.
I
There
would
are
have
women
to
out there,
say-
there are moms out there
I
telling
would have
their
to say
daughters have to be opposite too.
And there are some
Both of them
mothers
play a
not telling
part.
nothing.
Both
We talked about it last time.
both
Yeah.
parents play a part in both sex lives, because I'll use me for example. I was taught from the women in my family how to take care of myself, like self upkeep and self health, and the men in my family told me what men want. My mom could never tell me what a man wants. So
Actually, I think that happens a lot because if you really think about it, like if you date women who come from single family households and when they're primarily raised by their mom, they have a general idea on how to be take care of themselves. Like I never thought about that. Like they know how to like clean themselves. They know how to make sure they have upkeep and try to do themselves up. But you're right. I don't know how and I want the women to answer. Like how many black women are actually talking to their daughters about how to be a good wife? Did you have that conversation?
Indirectly, I think, because in my family we have a lot of wives. Like everybody's married; they've been married for quite some time. So I felt like the women that were around me could be knowledgeable on the subject, but it was never like, "This is what you do to get a husband. This is what you do to keep a husband." It was more like, "You should know how to cook. You should know how to take care of these children. You should know that men expect peace. You should know how to deliver that peace,
Right.
and you should definitely know how to listen."
about you?
It was actually quite the opposite for me. So there aren't a lot of men in my family at all. Like my grandparents have 6 children. Only one of them are boys. Out of all their girls, only one of them has been married. And like my mom, she was a single parent. And I was actually talking to my fiance about this. And I actually had this hard conversation with my mom when I had to tell her, like, coming home from deployment, I told my mom, I was like, look, you have a history of picking trash ass men.
Damn.
And that's just the truth. Like my father, and like, getting, not to get too deep, my father was a crack addict. My sister's father just wasn't shit. And that was a super hard conversation I had to tell my mom, like, you have a history of picking bad men. So how do you view yourself? Because you never taught me how to view myself or what makes a woman. You just taught me how to survive in the world. Like my grandfather was my biggest role model. And my grandfather, I think everybody has that one male head role model in the family. And so I knew how to like get firewood for the house, keep the house warm. I knew how to cook. I knew how to hustle. Like I'm a hustler at the heart. I will never be broke. And some of those things I didn't know were, I don't want to say a bad thing, but I didn't know until I got into a long-term relationship with my fiance, like, yo, I could take a step back. I'm a little too rough around the edges. And he wants to feel that softness and comfort of the femininity in the household. And I didn't have that, and I didn't know how to provide it at first.
That's dope.
That's dope.
Yeah, learning.
Leave your comments on that one, internet. God damn it.
Yeah.
No, they be coming for
they
that.
was eating me up on TikTok. For real.
They was going crazy on you?
Man, what? I put my name on my TikTok. It was like both of them. Like one of them told me I'll be single forever.
Yo, they always.
A black man would never love me. I was like,
yo, they go.
One of them comments
Man.
said I barred you up.
for real?
Yeah, I was like,
No, I did. It did. No, you did. You did.
Why you,
That
why you have
rebuttal
to
was
say
good.
it right now?
I'm sorry.
Why you have to say it out loud? Right.
Y'all crazy. All right, let's go to another one. We potted now. Y'all came in kind of.
You don't even know how to engage a man in a friendly way. What you dressed up for? What you looking all good for? Who he think he is? Instead of saying, "Damn, that's a good looking man." Oh my God! Instead of giving a man a nice compliment, you ready to throw an insult because that's how you learn how to get along. Because most of your relationship skills are just like a man. You've learned how to you interact in the world like a man, but you've lived your life like a man. Prioritize provision, the job, and being independent. Well, that's what you got. So that is why so many women over age 40 are angry, upset, mad, when men are happy. Men are happy. What are men happy about? Because many of them, 51% are single and childless, 64% in the middle class, are happy that they didn't have a child out of wedlock with a woman, so they're not paying any child support. They're happy that they have options in their 40s, especially the childless men have all the options in the world. And the majority of these men are in good shape, better shape than you. They are better at it. And see, the problem is women over 40 who fall into this category, instead of taking a unflinching inventory, a real gut check of what's going on, they walk into the marketplace still feeling entitled. What do you bring to the table? And they start telling you about their job, their money, their degree, their house, their car, everything else. And those are the things that men don't care about. Men don't care about those things, but that's what you bring to the marketplace.
My boy barring them up. I just played that one just off of what you were just saying, right? Like you came into it with like not a masculine energy. I can take care of myself. I don't need a man for this. That's what men mostly hear because y'all are hard on us. I don't care what y'all say. Y'all are hard on us, and it's good though. I agree that y'all should be hard on men.
In a way.
No, period.
In a certain way.
No, we say it all the time. Period. In a constructive way. I mean, that's the only way I'm gonna mean it.
Holding a man accountable, sure.
Yeah, hold a man accountable. Don't give him no coochie if he ain't got nothing for you.
But if the world's beating us up and then we come home and y'all beating us up too, like, bruh.
But by the time I'm coming home to you, you should already be more soft, feminine, ready to receive me in that way.
I agree. A lot of men
thinking. You pondering, Top G. What's up?
No, I would have to say, like, before Kevin Samuels came out, some of the stuff I would have conversations with some group of friends that I would have, they would eat me up. They was eating me alive. Like, I was on my own swinging. And it wasn't like I wasn't having a conversation. That was my first time realizing that the way that I was raised, everybody else, other women were not raised the same.
Oh, these are female friends.
Yeah, female. They were eating me up. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, and I didn't come in there like, y'all better do that. I'm not telling no grown person to do nothing. I'm like, I'm not doing that. I'm like,
do you get called a pick-me?
I don't, during that time it wasn't, because there wasn't a big conversation. These were like, intimate conversations in private, like it wasn't on social media. And I had already seen the flack that I got from friends. Yeah. So when this stuff started online, on the internet, I already know how this is gonna go.
But V, you're bringing up a good point. This is just a broader question. Like, obviously, a lot of us been dating now for 2 decades. Don't we feel that we went from a world where like the idea of like independence with women was like the number one topic? Like, you didn't see a group of women really talking to each other about submission and being a good wife. It was more about, you don't need that shit. You need to go do this. Be ready when he leaves. Versus now you're starting to hear the conversation a little bit more about submission and how to be a wife. Because I felt like earlier in my dating life, it was more about women figuring out how not to give a man too much. Be ready to dip on his ass. If he cheats on you, take what you can get and get out of there.
Yeah.
Where'd you hear that at?
It's divide and conquer, bro.
No, where'd you hear that at?
Everywhere.
No, I'm talking about the broader. I'm talking about.
He's
like,
saying
where
he's gonna say in the music, on TV, in the movies. That's what we've seen it.
No, I agree. But B brought up a good point. It's like before this topic of the manosphere, and we're starting to have again, and this happens through all cultures. That the conversation, like there was a time where I don't think when I was 25 years old, a woman was hanging around her friends and they was like, man, you should cook for him. You should be his piece. You should make sure he was good. No, it was more. It was the opposite conversation.
Sounds
majority
crazy.
and again, women, y'all can talk about it. And when I think mid-20s, it was more about, hey, you gonna do that for him?
Right.
You gonna let him do that? What is he doing for you? It was more like you'll get around your friends and they were checking you to making sure they were trying to make sure the woman wasn't going too far in for a man, or he's dicking you down like that. You're not even thinking for yourself. Go ahead, Chris.
Yeah.
We're gonna be objective and present both sides. The women start off looking to be submissive. I don't think there's 16-year-old, 18-year-old women out there that are looking to be, oh, I need to shit on this nigga. Da, 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 da. A lot of women when they're younger, they come out and they want to be good to a man, and then men take advantage of it.
Agreed.
So that's not. We don't agree. I do not agree at all, bro.
Agree. Fuck out of here, Chris.
Fuck out of here, bro. Before, wait. Stop. Wait. I'm gonna shoot Chris.
Please.
I don't need it, bro. I don't need it. I don't need your bail money. Hold on. Let me ask y'all a question. Hold on. Let me ask y'all a question. Hold on. I got it. Well, I don't even need that.
I don't even need that.
Let me ask y'all a question. Let me ask y'all a question. Have y'all never lied to a woman in your life?
No, nobody would ever say that, Chris.
Have you lied to a woman in your life?
Of course.
Have you lied to a woman in your life? Have you?
Of course.
That's it.
What's your point?
That's it.
What's your point?
You
What's
should,
the point of that?
That's how you treat. That's how you treat her right. If the woman is treating you right, and you lying to her, you took advantage of her.
Okay,
Right.
so
You didn't ask if she was treating me right.
This is crazy. I don't know what you woke up on
The only
today.
lie I've ever said is when a girl asked me was she fat in this dress.
Right. No.
Have you cheated? Have you cheated before?
And that's a lie I won't tell.
Have you? No,
That's a lie I will
That's
not
what I'm
tell.
saying. I'm not passing. We're not gonna keep passing the buck.
It's not passing the buck. It is what it is.
Yes, it is.
It
We're not
is
gonna
what
get
it is.
nowhere. We're not gonna get nowhere
Exactly.
until men.
We're just talking about what happened.
I love when Chris gets
Yes,
angry.
we're not gonna keep doing this. I cheated. You cheated. I lied. You lied.
Chris, wait. No. Before you save him again, no. Before you save him again,
Bro, I don't
what
need
you're
no
talking
saving,
about,
bro.
what you're talking about is what needs to be, or what you would like it to be.
pants, Chris.
You're not talking about what has been. That's what you're failing to realize. What has been is the passing the buck back and forth. You did this, so I'm gonna do this. That's the reality, Chris. We have to deal with that.
And what else is our reality?
What
has that gotten us?
Nowhere. You're right. But I'm saying, but you're not talking about what has been. You're talking about what needs to be. And I agree with you. What needs to be.
That's what are we talking about?
But you're talking about we're talking about what has been.
Wait, can I?
Are we a solution-based podcast? Are we trying to give something new? Or are we trying to talk about what is?
Then we got to talk about where it was.
Yo, there's a lot of that out there.
But Chris,
let's cut this shit off then.
I want to bring my question.
We got enough awareness, y'all. We got enough awareness. There's not enough awareness, y'all. Do we know this shit is going on?
Because we're still doing it, so it's not enough awareness.
Can I ask a question?
We're still doing it.
We're still doing it because we don't know no better.
Because we're not aware. Exactly. If you don't know any better, you're not aware.
Wait, guys, I want to ask the women in the room.
If I didn't know there was
Please ask the women.
Please ask
I want to
somebody
ask the
else.
women in the room because this is why I want to bring Chris's thoughts and my thoughts together. Was that I do think women are initially lovers early 16, 17, 18 years old. You guys all
he
have that-
said ready to be submissive.
Right,
See,
right.
I do think lovers, but I think more on a princess complex.
yeah,
I don't think,
wait.
no, for real. I don't think on we ready to submit to no dude at 16 to
Absolutely
18.
You don't know how.
Wait, exactly.
Thank you.
So
you can't be.
So
Yeah,
follow
can't
me.
be.
So after that first heartbreak, like Chris said, because men, we are probably breaking hearts. We're lying. We're doing other things. There's always
No,
we
we're
all
not.
have that-
We're not
No, I
really.
agree.
They're not rolling, bro. They're not rolling. We was great from the start.
No,
Wait, can I finish?
Nobody said that.
Why
Finish?
y'all want to take responsibility?
No,
said that?
at 16,
Why y'all
a
wanna
girl
take
breaks a dude's heart. Wait, no. The
That
reason we become the dog ass niggas that we become.
No, that's your story. That's your story. That's your story. That's not every nigga's story.
You got your heart broke when you was 9 years old. 9 years old. You like what? Like 30-something still talking about. That's not true.
It is
Let it
true.
go.
No.
Let it go. She broke his yellow crayon. It hurt. He's still talking about
Say her
it.
name, cuz.
He is married. Still talking about it.
But wait,
Put him as a man scorn.
Y'all some haters.
No.
And I'm a truth teller.
No, but hold on. So do we not believe that by the time we get in our mid 20s that women, there's hurt people that hurt people. So now women have gone through things. Now they have a different perspective. So now they're talking to their friends in the same vein, like, hey, this guy did this for me. So hey, make sure you protect yourself by doing X, Y, Z. I do think it's a perpetual cycle. So what I'm saying is, me and your statement is true. In my mid 20s, I think the conversation was with women who have been hurt before. That majority of the conversation was more about don't do too much, don't do this, make sure you're independent, make sure you don't depend on him, make sure you have your money, because in case he does X, Y, Z, you need to be prepared for that.
Right.
And that's what I'm asking. So I'm asking in your mid 20s, for the women in the room, was your idea around submission and peace, or was it, hey, I need to make sure that I protect myself in case this guy gets loose?
Okay, I'm gonna let V go because she looked like she got a pee.
I got somewhere to say. I got something to say. I got something to say towards that too.
Look, okay, I'm gonna use my example to answer that. It in my early 20s, it was a guy that I was in love with, right? And the way I told you how I was raised, my grandfather and how they raised me. So I had all the best outlook, and this is when I learned stuff about myself. I was very naive. I was thinking, if I'm ready to do all these things that my grandfather and the men in my family told me to do, I was not aware of the wolves. I was not, because they didn't prepare me for that.
I'm trying to tell y'all who makes the wolves.
So okay, but
y'all don't want to hear me though.
So now you're talking about it doesn't matter how they were created, whether it's from a broken
But it matters
home.
how y'all. It matters how that energy y'all created is created. Okay.
That's not what I'm not saying. It doesn't. I'm not saying that their experience isn't valid. What I'm saying is it's not about how the monsters created.
They're just gonna be like, who hurt you?
See, y'all, they can't take responsibility.
I'm responsible, but what I'm trying to say is, no.
It's hard.
No, it's not hard for me. I'm in here. I'm super monogamous. I do all the things. I'm sorry. Because Chris is at 16. At 16, more guys, because it's harder for us to get sex, are more likely to be like, yo, I'm all gun ho about this one girl. I'm trying to tell y'all. Y'all don't gotta listen to me. It's fine.
Okay. The point that I'm making is, because of whatever experience that guy has experienced from wherever it came from. I'm not saying it doesn't matter. What I'm saying, in this conversation, it doesn't matter about like how he came. The story is like, when I got hurt by the guy, it was a struggle for me to keep the principles that I was taught, but I kept them because I truly believed that it mattered, and I knew the results that it could come from it. A lot of girls don't have that to hold on to. So they end up hurt people that end up hurting people. That's ultimately what happens if they don't have something to hold on to.
Go ahead,
you know, so sorry, go ahead, Chris.
Somebody please call him.
I was just gonna say, y'all both kind of saying the same thing. Right. We tend to commit early, and we get our hearts broken. Both sides have gotten their hearts broken. It's because we don't really have a sense of what to really look for. What we're looking for is misguided. That's why I said something about just being solution oriented. We need to give people a guideline on what to look for in a person, and also what to be aware of as far as just the red flags. And to have real self-confidence and boundaries, because like Willie said, a boundary is not a boundary till you stand on it. And you have to have confidence and self-esteem to really stand on your boundaries. A lot of us don't really have that coming out. And there's a reason why. It's because of our parental structures, our household structures. All that kind of stuff is not giving us the tools to really stand on boundaries and walk away from people when we see things aren't right. We tend to want to work through stuff and all that good stuff, but I feel like Kadeem, you're saying the same thing. You got your heart broke, It didn't scar you. You in a relationship, you monogamous, great, and you as well. We tend to just come out early and get our hearts broken, man. And there's reasons why to that, and we need to be.
But I have a question to Chris, and just to the broad audience. Like when I hear you talk, like a lot of those concepts were like concepts that we probably were more keen to hearing, and like as we got older into like our 30s, early 30s. What I'm wondering is like if we thought that 19-year-old versions of us, 20-year-old versions of us heard that exact conversation, would we even receive it?
I don't think so.
I'm in my mid.
So but then Willie, on top of that, then it's going to take an accountability. That's going to be the thing that has to come on the back end to be like, hey man, I was in my hormones. I was running around uncontrolled. I was trying to commit too early. All that stuff.
But even what you just said about being in your 20s, I mean, again, this is just for some of us are older. The conversation that you guys are being exposed to now wasn't that's what I was getting at. Was not that conversation
what we grew up on.
when we were growing up.
Okay, and I definitely feel like also who I'm exposed to now at 26 makes a difference, because with me being in the military, I'm exposed. Like one of my best friends is like in his 40s. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like people I work around with, I work with people who's 19 all the way up to 50 something sometimes, and I can relate to some people based off of their experiences and not because of their age, because I'm trying to accomplish something where I'm like, okay, this person has been married for however long. I know to go to this person to talk about if I'm having any type of problems in my relationship. But I feel like back when I guess y'all were kind of coming up, people had a lot.
That's crazy.
Ageism, yo.
Wait. Okay. Because I feel like people had a lot of spite too. You got to be careful, because you talk about wolves with men. Some of your friends are wolves too. Some of them females, they are bitter. For real. Like some of them females are bitter. Some of them are with men who you knew this man never wanted anything good to do with you. You with a man who he was cheating on his girl just to get with you.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? And now that he hurt you, you're trying to cast off your healing process onto somebody else. Oh, girl, F him. No, that's what you did.
It's not a healing process
I want my
either.
Man.
That's a coping process.
No,
and there's two differences. A lot of people confuse coping with healing. It's not the same thing. Not at all.
Okay, Chris. Angry Chris is at it again.
I'm not angry, bro. I'm not angry. I'm just tired of the circular. I'm tired of the circular conversation. I just
Look where his
that we
hands
have
at,
enough
Elliot.
awareness. We have enough awareness, bro. Yeah, I got a gun in this motherfucker. I'm about to hit this shit.
No, you don't. I'm gonna play another one, man.
I think that it's basically a code that's missing in black. There's nothing for people who don't have a well-rounded household to like a default to follow, because those experiences
That's
happen
exactly
in
what
life.
I was about to
had
say.
that. That's what keeps me to keep
Thank
trying
you.
and
Thank
learn from my
you.
experience.
Thank
Some
you.
of those other girls out there, I can only speak for women that didn't have that. They went to good girl gone bad, like completely. They was like, well, then forget it then.
But I want to challenge both of you guys then, because this is, and so if we're going to be solution based, Chris, if we understand that number one, that for the foreseeable future we're still going to see a disproportion of single homes, so we're not going to have a great parental structure here in the near future. How do we start giving guidance to people who don't lack somebody to look up to or have that parent in the house? Where do they get those values from? Because I'll be honest with you, like when my parents split and I didn't have a voice there, if I end up coping by saying I don't need it.
Yeah. Let me just say this, yo. We have a lot of women and men that are in their 40s, 50s that still haven't learned. There's a reason why they don't have those defaults that V is talking about. I think it's not necessarily about giving your kid advice and them being like, oh, I'm 16, I'm going to be a mature individual, da-da-da-da-da. Kids need a good baseline to fall back on, and a lot of the times these kids don't have a baseline to fall back on.
But where does it come from if
it comes from the parents? And I'm not saying...
It needs to be a trend. It needs to be a trend.
What I'm asking, my question is, if there's no parents, I'm 16 years old and I don't have that structure, where do I go?
Y'all, and I'm telling you, and it's about what y'all were talking about before. It's the music.
Can I say this? Can I say this?
Hold on. Finish it, Chris.
It's the parents having to fight against media, your friends, high school, everything. I think it's just about giving the kids something to fall back on, and we're against the odds. We don't have communities. We don't have the trends that feed productivity. It's very convoluted. Extremely convoluted, because even if you give a kid all your advice, they still have to stand against all the stuff I just listed. All I'm saying is give them that subconscious, give them that ingredient so their subconscious isn't just a rap song. You know what I'm saying? When they're in certain situations, they can say, my mom said this, my dad said that, so they can at least have the fork in the road. A lot of the times they don't even have a fork. It's just, oh, I need to go this way, big ass, da 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 da. It's not even toxic to them. It's not even questionable to them. Yeah. It's not even something that, oh, that looks dangerous. That doesn't look right. Oh, he's acting funny. Right. It's not even that. They don't even have a good variance of thought process.
So I feel like what you're saying.
I was just gonna say, because we said this all the time on the couch. We never got those talks.
No.
Never.
No.
Who's to say what you would have done if you at least had the idea of what your father or your mom told you?
Mm-hmm. Even told, but past told, I just seen my dad doing different stuff. He didn't, once I was aware of what he was out here doing. Go ahead.
I had different conversations. In my nature, I am soft, very feminine. I didn't have strong boundaries. I would let niggas run. Whoa. I would let. That was about to sound crazy.
No,
that
just
was
say
about to sound
crazy.
Yeah. No.
They was running back in your shit.
Shut up, Chris. No, I would let people just trample all over what I thought were boundaries, and they weren't boundaries because I wasn't standing on them.
Running back.
But when I had a talk with my mom in my adulthood, she was telling me, in my youth, be independent, be strong, don't need people for this. But that's not my nature. I am dependent. I am feminine. So when I tried to step into that after I got my heart broken for the first time, I did go bad. I was wrecking them, bro. I was wrecking them.
Oh, they were wrecking you.
Facts. So you went wrecked.
Whatever. Not the point.
You were getting wrecked.
You were getting wrecked.
But my point is that I had to revert. I had to do the work and revert back to my natural state in order to get what I needed.
And how has that been
my
going
natural
for you?
state with boundaries?
How's that been going for you?
I have a question.
Pretty good.
Go ahead. Ask your question.
So kind of this is like bouncing off what you were saying. Like, I guess, how do we come up with a solution to fix these problems and things like that? Like, why don't we go out into the communities? Why don't we go out like big brother, little sister, little sister programs and actually have these conversations with these kids? So instead of like them seeing, because all they're really getting is social media, TikTok, TV shows, music, YouTube. Like, what I feel like if you look
I'm
in
in the communities, ain't
I think that there needs to be more social scientists that try different things out.
Those
What do you mean by
things
that?
you're talking
You,
about.
you know what I mean? Like the
talk.
social scientists in the 60s and 50s did experiments to see how the certain people will respond to certain things. It needs to be something like that conducted so you know what's effective. Because you could try something that you think is a good idea, but you don't know the results of how effective it's going to be.
MV, we need culture to implement some gatekeepers because everybody don't deserve a mic. Period. We need to have a culture
Well,
where
that's
when
what
we
they be
see
saying
people
in the
talking,
comments.
when we see people talking some bullshit on the mic, we need to be able to come down on them and be like, "Hey, man, police." We need to be able to police our own shit. It's the same thing.
That sounds good, but the black community, I mean, I know it's gonna sound bad. We're self-serving.
Yeah.
We're self-serving.
'Cause
We're
we
selfish. I know. It's because we're conditioned to think that way. We are. We are.
The internet has
things
asked to
just
take every person's mic on this couch. They have asked for all of y'all to hand your mics in.
Because like V said, people are sheep. There's a nuance to it, bro. We gonna have opposition too.
We have to create a culture where
I
people
am
feel
trying to go
safe
to the
enough
next
to
clip.
be in their natural state. Like if people were approaching things more
I'm
honestly
the only person
and
who
openly, we have to create that culture so that you don't have to tiptoe and be ready for the games when you're approaching someone.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You're ready to approach them as you organically and be ready to be hurt.
Go ahead, Dean. Go ahead, Dean.
I'm like, let's get to this reality check. God damn, y'all are long-winded sometimes.
How old are you?
31.
And your ex-husband did what?
He's a doctor. He's a psychiatrist.
And how long ago were you married?
Up until 3 years ago.
How much older was your husband than you?
We'll say 35 years.
So he's 53.
Currently, yes.
Why'd y'all divorce?
My husband got sick with cancer, and that changed him, and it changed the dynamics of our marriage.
Is he in remission?
Yes, he is.
And who filed for divorce?
I did.
Why?
He became mentally, emotionally, and financially abusive.
He took care of you just fine up until he got sick.
Correct.
And then when he was fighting for his life, you became a snowflake. Did you have to work when you were married?
No, but I
No,
chose
you didn't have to. No. You chose. But you didn't pay no real bills. You didn't have no skills. Knock it off. I'm gonna be honest, man. This is a whole mess. So even the way you're talking, it just sounds like, ugh. And how tall are you?
I'm 5'4".
How much do you weigh?
180.
Goodbye.
Make this shit, man.
I knew she was gonna say 180. I knew it.
How old are you?
30.
I knew
And
it.
your ex-husband did what?
Yo,
That's embarrassing.
you can't make it up, man. God damn it, he was good.
That's embarrassing.
She left him with why with the charcoal?
This shit look crazy. That shit look like cancer.
Why
on a
when
stick.
he got cancer and you dipped?
Damn.
But we
Lydia
hard
about
on
to get
y'all.
cancer
Y'all
with
got
that
to get
damn-
out my goddamn room with that bullshit. Man.
You gotta change the 8, man. It's no.
It's a handful.
This is crazy.
It's just the charcoal.
She about to be like that doctor in the video.
That fucking barbecue.
You know, I have a question about that. Like some of those women that used to go up there and they was telling like their side of the story, which was some of them was bizarre like that. Like
That's not
I
bizarre.
also be putting on like, and these women are ridiculous, but I'm like, I also want them like, y'all, some of these men, y'all ain't see the sign that these women only wanted you for the money or when you were just,
It's not bizarre though.
it's like,
When you a guy and you at peace, and she doing all the stuff
is
you
she
needed
at
to do.
peace? Was
No,
she?
he probably was, and then he got sick. She probably was doing
But
everything she needed to
saying
do
you
to.
After that long, you see somebody's true colors at some point. There's
No,
some
but the
situation where you're like, yeah, that
Yeah,
was
the
a little
situation
off.
was cancer.
Cancer is that drastic to where it could pull up things that you didn't even dive deep enough to discover. It's that drastic of a life change, and I just think there's no empathy there. Y'all claim to be very empathetic and sympathetic, but y'all don't tend to walk around the emotional and mental abuse to say this man is dying.
So can I ask a question?
It's
though?
more self-serving.
To what V just said, though, like,
it is again.
at what level is it acceptable for a woman to say, "Hey, I was with you, you were providing, that was the value, like there was a value exchange," and then after a period of time, if this man can no longer produce, when is it okay for a woman to leave?
No, she has every. I
I'm
think she
gonna
has
say,
every. I
nobody
think she
said
has
it
every
wasn't
right.
No, Willie,
Is that
there
the
are
only
men
reason
that-
you're leaving?
Most of the
asking.
time it is.
Guys, this is a general question.
Well, why do you think? What is most the reason for
Right.
most divorces?
So what I'm asking
Financial.
is,
What you
I'm
talking
asking
about?
is like if Chris was married or he is, but you know I'm just giving. I'm not trying to make this a okay. What I'm saying is,
She's right
and,
there.
And Chris loses his job. How long can Chris literally be down, not working, when we would honestly find it acceptable for Chris to be like, look, I was with you, we were married, you were providing and taking care of. It's been a year and a half, and you haven't gotten back on your feet. I'm leaving.
We didn't have a similar situation, but I told my Achilles that I wanted the best mental space, and I didn't treat her right. But I would have liked for her as my wife, for the better for worse thing, keeping your vows, to look around that surface level thing and be empathetic, right? That's what you want. That's what marriage is about. It's not completely self-serving. It's a little selfless at certain points in time when you understand circumstances.
Yes.
But
Not treating him right either.
but a lot of women are stuck in the immediate. That's what makes them beautiful. They deal with their emotions at the present time, and that's what they get sucked up into. And unfortunately, when a woman is feeling mentally or whatever, neglected, abused, whatever, that's her present state. She's not looking at the entire big picture. So that's what she gets caught in, and that's what happens.
Right. That's because what I was wondering is like she's saying that, okay, he stopped providing, he got cancer, and I'm with Chris. Like it's a big dynamic, and I do think there are some women out there that believe in their heart that if I divorce this man, that I'm somehow can go replicate. We got to remember, women for a long time lived in an abundance, and I think women are just starting to realize like that's not always the case. So this woman is moving from a space where she's thinking she can leave this man because he's no longer providing, he's dying, and he's not treating her well, thinking she could go back out in the marketplace and replicate that.
And what you said is connected. What you said is directly connected to that media I'm talking about. They think just because they can pull a man, that they're actually getting a man.
Correct.
You're getting got in most circumstances.
That's true. That's true.
You getting fucked, and then that dude treats you right, and you feel right for a little bit, and then it's over for you.
No, but that's so true because women drive so much validation from their ability to attract a man, but you never hear women really talk about their retention rate.
Yeah.
You know, I
bars.
I'm really.
I threw that alley-oop.
I can be really hard on myself, and I have been honestly maybe harder in what I look for in a guy because I know that is a possibility, and I'm middle class, and I never was like, well, let me find the richest guy. But if I have, I'm like, that's great. But I've always like, I'm most likely going to find a guy who's also a middle class person. So we need to be interdependent. So I've always thought like, there's a possibility one of us could get sick. That's something you don't plan for.
Yeah.
So when you're going into a marriage and you're not thinking that something could happen, one of us could die after we get married, somebody could get sick, and there's one income. There's you just emotionally supporting yourself. If you're not taking, and I'm not saying you got to be like, yeah, I know I'm going to be ready, but you have to think about that stuff before you get married and prepare yourself because that's a possibility when you sign up to be a partner to someone for the rest of your life.
But V said something. No, this is dope, and I think this conversation gets missed in all the relationship conversations. V at least agreed what she believes she would do best with, and she's accepted that I can be with a middle class guy because this is how I think this relationship should work. I don't think all women really understand there's a give and take to the type of guy you're with. There are some women who truly have a goal of being taken care of. They truly have a goal to be with a man that pays all the bills. Mm-hmm. That is literally number one on their list. So they have to understand what are the things that are going to come with that type of man. Yep. What are the things, the good and the bad? If he does lose his money, how good is his money? What kind of insurance does he have? So you have to think about all those things that come with it. And I think if some women really started with the end in mind, they all wouldn't say they want a guy that takes care of them and they want a six-figure. They wouldn't say that because some of their inputs wouldn't agree with the outputs. It would not align. Yep. I actually think more women would be fine in a 50-50 middle class space because they would feel a little bit more safe. They would feel like they're not overly reliant on this person. Maybe they feel like there's areas where they want to control certain shit. That's fine. Kevin Samuels was saying that in the conversation. Mm-hmm. What was happening was, what was the first thing he asked women when they got on the phone? Does anybody know?
What do you want?
What do you want? What do you want? So he guided the conversation based on your desires.
People don't understand that most of his subject matter was in reaction to what women are saying.
Bingo.
Those songs that they come out with, six-figure, they saying this is what that six-figure, 6-foot nigga wants.
This is what he wants.
Are you that?
Yes. Are you that?
Bro, and look, this
harsh
is
truth.
No, but this is the thing, and I've said this on the pod before, and I didn't even get aligned to the idea of being in a space with a woman where I would pay all the bills. And so I started writing out what I wanted. And then I realized, hey, if I want these things from a woman, more than likely, this is how I'm going to have to show up to get that. But there's the majority of my life, I was like down with the 50-50.
A lot of women are raised to believe that their presence is enough. That's what they're raised to believe. I walk in a room, I'm offering enough. Okay.
It was a lesson that I'm giving you guys that my grandfather told me. He said he was in the military. He always thought that he was going to be the main breadwinner. He's not looking for my grandma. Don't you open up your pockets. You stay home with the kids and blah, 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 boo, boo. But she would still work. She was still working. She was taking care of like elderly white women and doing hair, right, and saving money. And she had to ask him back then to work. And he was like, go ahead, but you know that I'm the one that pays. I'm the one that makes sure we have a roof over our head, and you respect that. Mm-hmm. But one time they were cut from the military. And this is back then when they weren't giving you money when you weren't working, and they mainly cut black men. And he was like stressing out, trying to find jobs, trying to do. And the whole time, my grandmother had stacked all that money out. She paid the mortgage for 6 months. And he realized it was a lesson for him. He said, "I still don't depend on her, but I realized that she's always been a partner, and that even shows up even more." He said it hurt for that she had to do that. Yeah. He said because that money was just to decorate the house. I ain't gonna give you money for that. Yeah. But he was like, but it was. He said, when you're middle class, you have to be a team. But sometimes, like, you know, that's necessary. And people are not being realistic in America.
No, they're not.
Majority of the people in America is middle class. Like, we need both people.
And
like, especially during this time.
And you know what? If people understood how volatile and how unstable the system of America actually is, they'd be a little more mindful of what could happen.
1,000%. Right. Look, bro, everybody in my neighborhood is married. Like everybody, every house is a two income.
And Willie, I've seen some videos of your house.
No, bro, but what I'm saying is, but you're right though. The marriages and like we think about other cultures, like you're right. You're probably better off in a lot of scenarios with two income homes.
We are being bamboozled.
Yeah. Yep.
We talk about the oppressive system, but we subscribe to some of their parts and wonder why we're in the state we're in.
Agreed.
And the main subscriber of said system is black women, and we following them.
What?
All right, Kadeem, go.
We're following them.
Cut it off. No, actually, no.
Cut the
I was
mic.
agreeing with everything. It was like,
We are.
Hold on, go
following
ahead,
them.
Zaina. Hold up. Nope. What you disagree with on that statement?
Look.
like,
Go ahead.
I feel like why can't we ever just have a conversation where it's like, it's not just black women, it's not just black men, it's us.
I ended it with black
It's
men.
just what?
I ended it with black men. I think we're wrong for following y'all. I think y'all are doing what y'all naturally
Once you
do.
bring them
I think
into
men. I'll say this,
back.
and I think black men are the most out of order than anybody.
Ooh, ding. What he's basically saying is the whole Adam and Eve situation going on here.
So, Adam and Eve or Jezebel?
Say it again.
Adam and Eve or Jezebel?
No, in his situation, it's Adam and Eve because it's like we're innocently doing things, just living, and it's not, the men are not in front and saying, hey, we're setting the tone, and you guys are following. You're like, okay,
shoot, last pod we just
doing, you know, and it, not with not any intention to try to harm, but it's causing harm because the whole Adam and Eve situation. Oh, go ahead, eat the apple. All right, Adam, you want some too? And he's following. Yeah. So it's like, no, men are like, no, we're not eating that apple. And it don't have to be with authority of your voice. It's like, no, I'm going to go here and make sure certain Congress is in place. No, I'm going to go here and make sure certain laws. No, I'm going to go here and make sure my family is not in their projects. No, I'm going to go here and stay in the family. No, I'm going to go here and pick a right female so that I'm going to stay with and be the mother, you know, the father of those children. That's how you lead. You don't lead by saying, well, I'm waiting for the woman to do this so that I can be. No, you be that. Mm-hmm. You be that, and you pick a woman that you know you're willing to stay with and have a child with, and you practice semen retention until you find a woman that you know that you're willing to be a father to.
Semen retention.
Like that.
No, I'm gonna drop a bomb for V. She just smoked that.
That's it.
Minus the semen retention. Some men are not aligning with semen retention.
I mean,
but
whatever you need to do. But
don't make no babies.
Yeah, just pull out, man. God damn it.
You be what you want what you want to see. You be what you want to see.
I had a baby when I was ready to have a baby.
Thank you, V.
Nah, I definitely feel like you put that in perspective.
Yeah.
I wanted you to be controversial. God damn it. You cut me off.
She tried. We can still argue. She cleaned that up.
Yeah.
Or the man who's earning $200,000 plus who can have any woman want you.
I would be coming in with also my own 6-figure salary.
Don't give a shit about your money. We don't care about your money or your careers. Let me tell you ladies why this doesn't matter. Because we don't have access to it anyway, and you ain't gonna be spending it on us. So your money doesn't.
Why would you say that?
Who in general funds the relationship?
I would say men in general.
Right. What's the most you've ever spent on your man that's not a birthday, Christmas, or anniversary type gift, just on a Tuesday?
I spent a Tumi bag that I bought for, and it was like about $600. And it was just
$600. That ain't shit. I spent $600 at dinner. So I'm sorry, your six-figure job and everything else don't mean shit to us. I could pull $600 worth of shit and throw it at this camera right now. Why would a man who's earning $200,000 plus, who can have anyone?
Yo.
Yeah, he was a monster.
You know what?
He was not a monster.
You know
Kevin
what?
Samuel?
Yes.
He was.
Yo, see, you missed him, and I'm mad that you didn't see all his content, yo.
The only thing I think I ever heard about
called
Kevin
him a
Samuels, it was
monster.
actually something kind of negative, like a conspiracy, like a slang thing, and it was like a guy in the background of the camera or something like that, and he had on like I don't know.
Why you call that man a monster?
I'm with you,
He
Zana. Come on, we
was
need
like-
that. We need that opposition. Come on.
He was just like I don't
What about his
disagree.
statement?
I just feel like his delivery, like it's
said.
very like
That's what I said
unremorseful.
earlier.
He's like, look, this
It's
is
the
what
truth.
it is.
It's unremorseful.
It's the truth. Like I'm not.
The truth for a man is always unremorseful.
If he would have been delivered that more sweet, like a sweeter delivery, then you would have.
No, I'm not saying he should.
I'm just saying, if it would have, you would have had no opposition, like at all.
He a
Like,
monster?
That's what I said earlier at the beginning of the podcast.
Y'all
It's
want
his
me to disagree
delivery.
with this man? I got y'all. For one, he should never said that shit because $600 is a lot on Tuesday.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No, 50 bands.
$600
50
is a lot
bands on a
Tuesday.
Tuesday is a
I
lot.
only spent how much on you last Wednesday? $50. That's it. That's it. That's all he gets. Something off the dollar menu.
But the damn.
That's
He's-
it.
You deserve better.
And
man.
no drink. No drink.
Blink twice if
He
you're
don't
impressed,
get
bro.
no drink.
Blink twice.
He
Blink
gets
twice.
the
Blink
water
twice.
cup. You get the water cup. That's it. And we do it. It's my way. My way.
Good shit.
What was y'all saying?
You a monster. You a monster.
He was saying that in context of people that making $200,000.
Yeah, because that was the whole point. When a woman start telling you how much she make, and then he's like, "But y'all don't spend it on us.
Yeah.
Y'all don't look to spend it on us, and we're not looking for that."
I'm just looking for the day money is not in the topic at all. Like nobody cares.
It's gotta
how
be in the
much-
topic.
Like I
It'll be in
understand.
there.
Like no, I understand. Like okay, cool. We got to have these conversations. But I'm tired of women and men being like, oh, this is how much I make. This is me bringing something like, okay, get it.
It's the
If you're-
context of how they're talking.
Yeah, it's the context. No, I'm not saying that money doesn't matter. I'm just saying like she started off like I make $200,000, and he was saying like, okay, and
But y'all
next.
weren't. But like Elliot said, y'all weren't tired of it when TLC was talking that shit.
Man, that
Y'all
was
only-
let it go.
Hold on,
I was
hold on.
listening.
And y'all weren't tired of
In
it. Let me
elementary
give you a
school.
more current one. Y'all weren't tired of it when Sweetie came out with her song.
Sweetie's
Y'all are
not a
only,
good rapper.
Y'all only don't like talking about money when men start talking about money.
We like talking about money when it's fun.
Y'all like
when
talking
we shaking
when it's
ass.
fun.
And then we go home back to reality.
And that's exactly what he's talking about. Money's fun to
Like-
y'all. But when it's to us and we want to have fun with our money, oh, this nigga ain't good with money. Oh, I can't. He's not secure. We can't have fun with ours. It's only for y'all. And then that goes up to the workforce thing. Y'all go to work and leave the household to go have fun.
But y'all exploit us in the process.
Exploit y'all?
When y'all, for us, right? I'm saying, you're saying that
exploit
money.
yourselves.
Yeah, when y'all are saying, y'all are saying that money is.
What?
I'm gonna let you go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, let Zana cook.
Can I agree? I actually agree with you. I cannot wait for a day where money is not a lead indicator in a space. But it's unfortunate that it is, and I do wish that we could change the topic of conversation where, like Chris said earlier, where we were more collaborative with money, we were better educated with money, we pulled resources together just amongst friends, amongst relationships, and we were able to gain more. I do think a lot of problems in the Black community are based around economic disparities. I do. I think crime. I think premarital sex,
right, Willie.
all those things. So I do think I wish there was a day where we talked about it in a more collaborative way.
something
But I
for
do
that.
agree, though, that there's still women out there in higher droves, and actually, as they get older, who actually start the conversation. Think about it. If you're a 32-year-old woman with 2 kids, and you're talking about, I need to go find a man, you think she's saying, I just want a nice guy? She's thinking about a guy that can make
Take
her
care of me
that-
and
that
my
can take
kids.
care of me.
Yes.
That can take pressure off of me. I think women, as they get older, it's unfortunate. They tend to value money more and more and more. And then the women who are somewhat independent, they think that somehow is going to bring them into a whole nother type of guy, and they realize it doesn't.
Yeah.
This is the sad part for women. Women think they can earn their way into a better guy, and they can't.
You can't.
It's unfortunate. It's only men. And the only reason why men can earn their way into a better woman is because that's what women validate men off of.
Yes.
But I'm with you. I cannot wait till the day that's not a conversation.
Right.
Yes.
And the money game in itself is a trick anyway.
Right.
It's a trick to keep us on that hamster wheel.
Definitely.
I agree with you.
For sure.
1,000%.
And just to speak to the clip, I think it kind of counteracts what V was saying about her. Was it your grandparents? When the mom, it's about intention. Her grandma was working, and her surface level intention wasn't to support her husband when it was needed. She came and supported the whole family.
Yep.
And I think when that's the intention, it kind of it blows up that whole video. Because when you find the right woman who's going out to work and I'm not saying y'all shouldn't have fun with y'all money, but I'm talking about on a foundational level, it should be I'm going out to bring resources for my family first and foremost. And then what I have left over, if I'm making enough, I can go have fun with it.
And I think the one thing
But I
for
feel
me,
like it's the way her grandmother did it.
but even when,
She wasn't like, oh, I got this much, I got that much, I got this. It
She-
was like
and
she
the
was
way
getting
she
it
thought-
and quietly putting it away.
And the way she
right?
thought about it was, soon as she had to do it, she went like, dang, I had plans. She was like, oh, this is a peace of mind. You got 6 months covered, so he got time.
Right.
Like, she was like, I was going to
But-
buy like some new furniture, but we could wait.
but but what's so dope is like for me, like if I meet a woman and she's well off and she's professional, she has money. For me, I'm attracted to that not because of the money itself, but also it's the mindset, it's the ability to be able to push me to higher heights, somebody to be my mirror. So I do think the idea to what Chris just said is like if black families, if we were thinking about it different, money wouldn't make me necessarily be with you, but it would be an attraction point. I think that's what Kevin was saying. Women actually believe that that's a validation for a man to be with them. Yeah. For me, it's just a proxy. It's like, oh shit, you're a vice president here. Oh, you must be smart. You must be ambitious. You must be disciplined. You're probably somebody that if we make a commitment to each other, we can follow through.
Make our own
So if we
empire.
decided that we want to go live in Beverly Hills on a hill, I'm gonna trust a woman who actually has results than somebody who fucking works at Wendy's.
Right.
I'm not saying I want you for your money, but I do think at the end of the day, I think we can value intelligence. We can value money. It just shouldn't be that the number itself is what we value. It's the result that it can drive.
It's about the direction.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's why I say
That's what
it's just about asking values and what your intentions are.
Right.
A lot of people's intentions isn't to build. It's
Right.
just to get. A lot of people get in relationships just to get certain stuff.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I like that. That's a better way to say. Like I think I like the idea of relationships being with an intent to build.
Right.
I do.
We all
that makes
are
a lot of
aligned.
sense, Chris. But no, because some people aren't. I think even with men,
I'm saying us on this
No,
panel
I was saying, but there's some older men that I could see that probably are well off, that are probably past their building stage in their life,
Facts.
and they're in there to get.
Yeah.
So that is the best way to say it. Some people have a get mentality, some people have a build mentality, and it probably just depends on where you're at in your life.
Yeah.
It'll be exposed.
That's a good one.
Last Kevin Samuels clip. Y'all are
Don't
doing
get versus
great.
build. I like that.
60 hours minimum a week that you're getting paid for. Turn off YouTube, Instagram, whatever, and get your ass out there. Get you a job. I don't care about your pride. You can't be proud and broke at the same time. Work and work and work. And then you take that money you make from your part-time job, invest it to your future. The other percentage, invest it in self-improvement. Get you a high-income skill. The harder you work, the luckier you get, the more exposure you get. It's about hard work and speed. If you're not working,
I like that clip a lot.
Yeah, that was just for some
He was
motivation.
talking to black men for real.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What y'all think about it?
You already know that's what I'm on. Like, let's grind, bro.
Are men generally lazy? Are we lazy as black men?
Yes.
Yes.
Why? Or how?
I think that
Be real. Come on.
I think that I think that there's no incentive
It's
for you guys to drive towards that. No, and the reason why I'm saying is the incentive is either negative or they're missing. That's that puzzle that's missing. Like, I don't know why I need to do this besides, you know what I'm saying? And then there's a few actual men who know exactly why, because you got to think about it. A lot of other, I don't like comparing to other races, but other cultures and races, they have the idea, oh, I want to create generational wealth. I want to build a family. I'm thinking about the person I want to be with because what kind of kids we're going to have based on health, IQ, would they be able to sustain this, all these things. And that's not the forefront because we already know why, because the whole breakdown on the black family.
Black women in the room. Do y'all think black men can overcome this? Do y'all
Yes,
think we can turn this
I
around?
believe in it, yes.
Okay.
I feel like black men have to want to overcome it. Like, I feel like at some point we got to get over the chains. We got to get over the very surface level things, the shoes, the cars, the this, the that, the instant gratification. I feel like that's in the 21st century in general. We have to get over instant gratification. And it's like, it's so enticing, especially like for me, I'm from Atlanta, DeKalb County. I have like pulling up and seeing a Porsche outside. I be to this day, I'm 26 and I be like, damn. Like, I done seen it like 3-4 times. Like, seeing it, and it's like, you would think in Atlanta, it's like, oh, every turn, you never know people who's making it. That's not always true. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you go to the city, and it's like, yeah, I may have seen Lil Baby when he was just baby, but now it's like he's little baby. But it's like you don't see that process and what it took to make that person. So you're just like, oh, shit, I could rap. I could do this, too. But you don't see when that person got denied, when that person failed, when that person at times didn't want to get up, when he didn't want to go to them shows. And then when you run into those problems, you're like, you know what, F this, it's not working out. I don't want to do this no more. I'm a sling dime bags. It's easy.
But I'll even go further, because my emotional response was black men are lazy. I do think there's a good portion of it, but I think it really just starts with education, because I actually think the idea of wealth or wealth creation is more simple than we think. Like, even when I've thought about this for years, think about it. I'm about to be 20 years in the workforce. If I would apply not having instant gratification, and I took all the money I ever bought on clothes, shoes, and stupid things, and I just invested it into a ETF, and I just said, hey, religiously, I'm gonna take all my dollars and invest. By the time you're 35, 40 years old, you'll at least be 7 figures.
Yes. Yeah.
At the very minimum. That's just not doing anything different. Yeah. But it's because because we were told that our validation from an early age was tied to instant gratification type items: cars, clothes, shoes, women. We saw when we were 22 and 23 the women doing hypergamy, even before it became a word, going with the guys at the club that they felt had status and had money, that we felt like we had to go get those things to get a woman to love us, to tell us that we're great, to get our number counts up. So we live in a world where instant gratification was the ones that are glorified without seeing the backdrop.
It's getting worse.
Jumping off of what you said, like, and I say this is the problem every time. It starts at home.
Right.
I had a conversation with my mom. I am angry. I am so angry that I'm finding out at 26, if I would have put away $20 from when I was 16, you telling me I wouldn't have to be breaking my back in the military with these people talking to me like I'm crazy half the time? Yeah. Totally agree. Angry with my father that you chose drugs over being there for your daughter, and I didn't have anybody from a young age that made me feel special, and I felt like I had to basically be a man my whole life. And I'm just now finding that person that makes me feel like, okay, it's okay to be soft. I'm angry. So we sit here and we blame each other. Oh, it's the man, it's the woman. It is our parents. It is the generations of people that came before us. It is not each other, because none of us really know what we're doing. I can tell you, oh yeah, the men got to stop being lazy. How? The women have to, we got to be softer. How? Yeah. What about the people who came before us? What about the history, the lineage? It's not there.
And Zaina, honestly, you're blessed because you're under 30 and you've come to these realizations. Yeah, there are women that are double your age and aren't even close.
They'll never know.
Right. Never.
You know, just to speak on that, like the generational things, like if people actually, they say if you want to hide anything from a black person, put it in a book. I'm telling you right now, there are so many forms of information out there about slavery that we're not talking about. If you can get past the emotional part that it does, knowing that it was your ancestors, you will see how much psychological damage and the ploys that was done. And then you're going to read it and you'll be like, you're going to start identifying now how it's still happening in different tactics. And I'm like, that will set you free. That right there alone, because you'll see things clearly. The veil will be put over your eyes, and it will self-correct you without you having to hear somebody on just a podcast. You don't have to hear somebody just on TV how to do it. It's going to let you know, oh, these are the type of the games that's been played on us. Right. And I'm done. Right. Like, I'm not playing this game no more.
And also, just to the black men overcoming and stuff, in this system, I'll just say within this system, working hard and working your way out of it is a myth. It's a lie. White men are lying to us. We subscribe to work hard every day and we can do it. It's about knowledge and relationships. That's it. Yes. A lot of the rappers that y'all see, or the little babies or whatever, they got their success streamlined. Yeah. They only are successful because some white man saw, I can make money off this nigga.
Yes.
And he went and he catapulted or streamlined him up into a millionaire status. Or what to look like a millionaire, because to be honest with you, we all know those
mascots.
Those signing bonuses are loans, period.
Yes.
And then it's to make you look like, oh, this person grinded for this. There's so many people out there that work hard and bust their tail to never see freedom, any kind of financial freedom, a day in their life. It's not about working hard. It's about knowing the right people and knowing the right things.
Or
That's
flipping it. If you're going to do that, and you know you take it for what it is, use it to your advantage. You know they're going to give you a loan for an album that is super hard. You work hard to promote it, but take most of that money and open up mad businesses. You got to pay the money back anyway.
But there's a reason why they love the person who was homeless in their car or was in the projects, because they never gonna look at the fine print. They never gonna think twice. They gonna look at the commas and that's it.
Especially
and now I got you locked.
What, a $50,000 advance to somebody who just came from being broke?
You
That's
sign
not
it.
the first thing you think. Oh, let me go buy some real estate.
Nope.
Like, you know what I'm saying? And
So what's the difference from the man who sleeping in his car and would take the opportunity and never go back to being that way versus the guy who's also in the car beside him sleeping in his car? And it's here.
The knowledge.
I think men just got to go home.
Knowledge and I guess knowledge, but it's like it's so much mental health issues, and I'm not talking about from being psychotic to like just normal. It's so many things. That's why I really harp on, you gotta go back and look at the psychological devices, because you'll self-identify. You realize, oh, I've been feeding this. Even with as far as we have advanced, we've still been playing into a game. You realize when you see it, you realize, oh, I'm checking out of the Matrix. I'm getting out of that.
But it take a long time to get into that space, like Willie's saying. I mean, we grew up chasing that stuff, and it wasn't until we had it to this point where you like, it really don't matter.
You don't.
In the grand scheme. The dude that lives in the house next to me ain't have to do none of that. Didn't do none of that. Probably been saving up 10x longer. So it is like more of us are getting into the spaces where we recognizing that, and we impart that on our kids, because our kids ain't gonna care about none of that. But we grew up in a different time, so it was like you said, we seen the drug dealer. He had the big whip. The girls liked him. We watch on TV. He had the nice watch. He wore the fly clothes. Like, I got joke for my clothes, all that type stuff. And you like, that's what you're chasing. You're not chasing the actual freedom, to Chris's point, which is what it's really about. Being able to go do what you want, having a great work-life balance, being able to feed your soul, feed your community. That's what it's really about. But it take getting into the space where I'm super comfortable with me that if I didn't have a car I have, I still would be cool. But I had to drive all them other cars to get to that point. Like, I shouldn't have had to, because it was an Asian dude that grew up in a Camry, and his parents owned 10 Chinese restaurants, and they put everybody on from when they come over here, they go, is that racy? That's crazy. No, but either way, when they get over here, they put their whole family on.
But Kadeem, that's that interdependence. We stop at independence. Even men to a degree. We make money and we're like, oh yeah, we got to box everybody out. We got it from the mud. We did this and did that. We don't really preach group economics like that.
When do we stop that?
Like that's a good
Where do we stop it?
That's when did we stop that? Because to Willie's point he made earlier, that we once did have that in our community. When did we stop that?
When Malcolm X died?
No,
I'm joking.
No,
I'm joking.
It was around 1964 through 67, and what happened during
like
that
when
time?
Malcolm X died.
No, but you talking civil rights?
No, civil rights, and then what?
It was integration.
Integration, and then what though? There was one big one.
Just tell us, right?
It's the feminism act. When feminism took. No, it has nothing to do against women though. Listen to what I'm saying. As far as black women go, because y'all shouldn't have been a part of that movement anyway. It wasn't for y'all. It wasn't for y'all, and it was strategic against, like we were saying, these devices. This is one of the devices that split the black family up. And you can roll your eyes all you want.
I know what you're talking about.
No, I'm just saying the facts are the facts. Like, if you look at our numbers from black families, our black families were flourishing from whenever we came over here till. I think early 1931s or 32s till 1964 through 67. And once the Feminism Act came about, black families split. Our ecosystem destroyed. And that has to go hand in hand. Has to.
And people.
Okay, I used to think about that, and I looked into it. So around that time, there was a lot of laws that were passed where they were giving women opportunities. Before then, before then, they were starting to have integration started to happen, right? So then there was the laws that were passed where it was mandatory for certain organizations to have a certain amount of black people working. Before then, since slavery ended, this is why I don't understand what people are saying. Since slavery ended and before slavery, it required both people to work. The only difference is right? And some of those women were not married. They were hit in the face. The men didn't want them, okay? They were working. They were washing clothes. They was taking care of those white women who were staying at home, children. They were the actual stay-at-home wives for these families, right?
Yeah.
And they were all working. They weren't getting a pay stub. So there was no record of pay stubs where it showed that black women were always working. I even asked my grandmother, my grand aunts, all that. She was like, "We weren't in no feminist movie because we didn't have time. We had too busy to work. We had to work. We always had to do that." She said, "I feel like that's just another ploy to divide us." She said, "We were never in that." She said it was probably like one Angela Davis that showed up to the rally. There was no other black women there.
I beg to differ.
There were none.
I think he's talking more about I think he's speaking more to the systemic stuff too, though, like child support, like
But that's what the real actual. They only use feminists. They only got into it like those white women only started doing that. They wanted to work because the black women were going to work and they didn't want to be home to take care of the kids that we were taking care of for them.
I think you're speaking in a micro sense. If you look at it in the macro, I can pull the numbers up for you if you like. The numbers of the Feminism Act or feminism movement increased when black women joined. So you can make.
How many of those black women? How many of the population?
Okay, if you
this is rhetorical. When you go back and look, how many of the majority of black women during that time were actually a part of the actual feminist music, movement? And how many that weren't? And you could compare the two, and you realize just because there were some doesn't mean that there were all.
No, not all. It'll never be all, and it'll never be like none. It's in the middle. Like when at the beginning of the feminism movement, y'all weren't a part of it, but increasingly y'all became a part of it, and increasingly the black family split.
I don't think any. The only reason why I said that because
you're not arguing with me.
No. Listen.
Go ahead.
So during that time frame, this is what I'm saying. You got to pay attention. During the time frame, projects were starting. Our families was divided because of the project. We're automatically.
That's all things.
No, I'm saying we're automatically lumping same situational things to that. This was the reason why. You're not looking at. Remember in the Hunger Games when he said, "Remember who your enemy is."
Right.
We are automatically using that as a device saying, "See, y'all women was the ones who described
I don't even think he started off like that. He presented a number of things.
I'm just saying this is a ongoing thing, right?
And
I'm agreeing with you.
If you take 15% of y'all and put y'all in feminism, and then take the rest of the percentage and put them into other things, that takes the whole.
That's what you're missing.
And I don't want to interrupt y'all stuff too much.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
I think the
results
results speak too, because if you look at where we're at right now, most of y'all subscribe to what the feminists were preaching back.
Right.
Most of y'all do.
Independence and all that. That's what I'm saying. You missed the part where I mentioned all those other things, but that the feminism movement was a part of it too. I'm not saying that was the sole reason. No, I'm not saying that at all. But that was one of the things that took y'all out of the household. That is a fact.
And you know what it is? I'm sorry, Willie. Yeah. I think it's just mentally. I don't think we really have a problem with y'all going out pursuing. I think it's just the mentality. It's the mentality.
And I think to back you up, Elliot, and also to back you up, is like there were two things that happened.
Can't back them both.
No, I am because there were two things. There was a first and then second. The first thing is the first attack was take the men out the home.
Correct.
You got to take the men out the home.
Correct.
Now that the man's not home to give guidance, then you plug the feminine message into the woman.
Exactly.
Because now she's saying, I am alone and I do need to be independent.
Right.
I need to do these things.
Exactly.
But at the same time, you're having
accompanied with incentive to support.
Let that man cook, y'all. Let that man cook.
No, she was saying we were interdependent. She wasn't saying they were working with their husband.
No, she was saying black women was already always working.
Yeah,
so.
But that don't mean you're independent.
The feminist movement created this idea that the reliance on the man became less. Just because you were working, even the women back then, they were working, the man was still there.
Yeah.
Now with the lack of the man not being there, and then you have a movement called feminism telling you it's okay that he's not there, you can do this on your own.
And then the government will also subside.
That's a lie. But black women weren't always working. Yes, there were some black women working. Women in general weren't working like that.
You can take that back to slavery, though.
No, black
slavery
dispelled that. Listen to what I'm saying.
I don't want to talk about slavery up here.
No. Let me tell you, black women were always working. Let me tell you, when they weren't getting a pay stub, they weren't going into an office, but they were always
talking
working.
on a micro scale, on a macro scale. No,
on a macro scale. You're talking about a micro.
Yes. That's
They
not true.
weren't
I have
on
a
the
feminist
micro
for
scale
you.
like
true.
you.
I have a feminist for you.
How many of y'all grandmothers was just at home?
Her name is
They
Brittany
weren't
Renner.
selling
She's a
plates,
feminist.
doing hair, or taking care of some old white lady.
That's not what I mean by.
I have a feminist for y'all because I have somewhere to be shortly.
You talking corporate? You talking corporate?
Yeah,
but
I'm talking
go
about-
ahead, Dean. Go ahead, Dean.
Yeah, I have a feminist. Her name is Brittany Renner.
saying making a wage.
Brittany Renner.
As a former loud and proud man hater,
Hold on, y'all. Hold on.
here are 5 things that have changed the game for me. Number 1, I realized I didn't hate men. I hated the way I allowed myself to be mistreated by men. Big difference, right? You are not a victim. You are a participant. And when you point the finger, you miss out on the opportunity to grow. Number 2, I stopped saying I didn't need a man. Because if I want a relationship with a man, then I need one, right? Okay, that's that on that. 3, you can't be that serious about getting picked if you're not in the gym at least 3 times a week. You don't even take care of yourself, so how would you expect someone to take care of you?
I want to waterboard myself.
Number 4, I stopped entertaining stragglers. And stragglers are guys you meet along the way that you know you're not really ever going to take seriously, but you use them for your own personal entertainment. Number 1, that's wrong. Number 2, you're sending a mixed message. Stay committed to what you want. Most importantly, number 5, accountability. Woo. I analyzed my behavior and what parts of me resonated with these men I deemed problematic. I'm here to tell you that the call is coming from inside the house.
Damn.
And it's time to pick up. First of all,
She cooking.
as a former
She cooking.
Go ahead,
What are
Zay.
you talking about?
Go ahead, Zay.
It's women like that. It is women like that. Her, the Amber Roses, the all the other ones that have preached this.
I know
Your
what you're
body,
talking about,
you're
yeah.
right. Go out and sleep with everybody.
Right. And then
Like
they flip it.
the whole
And then they
like
flip it, right?
yeah, and then they flip it, but the whole time it's like
She flipping for
this
game.
is the same one who was dating a 19-year-old, right? Who had just got signed or something
Just
like
happened.
that. Like, what are you
was dating PJ
talking about?
Washington.
She and it's
Kudos.
Zay, you can't grow. You
Shout out
can't
PJ.
grow, Zay. You can't.
She can't grow and
Shout out
change.
PJ.
No, because you gotta understand.
She's on that
Look,
for benefit.
everybody has
remember the
room
gatekeepers?
to
Remember the
grow.
gatekeepers I was talking
Everybody has room to grow,
You're
right?
right.
Hold it
But
down,
here's
Zay.
the thing. Here's the thing.
Ain't no coming back.
Bonus can't be erased.
Ain't no coming back.
Listen.
Don't disrespect Drea like that.
Everybody has room to grow. But when you're going through whatever you're going through and you're putting it out to these younger girls, girl, you don't need a man. Girl, you can go out and sleep with whoever you want and you're still a child of God. Like, I mean, of course, you're always a child of God. But I'm just saying, like, you're still like, oh, yeah, you're still God. You don't need him or take his money and like, and then you turn around, a year later, oh, I realized I need a man. Are you crazy? When you got these girls out here, everybody doesn't flip stuff like that, and that's not right. Because when you have a certain platform, no matter how big or small, you have a responsibility to your community and to these children, and that's what gets on me because it's the fact that we do our kids in America and our young kids so dirty because that's who we're really appealing to. She was not appealing to the 30-year-olds, the 40-year-olds, the mid-20s. She was appealing to them little girls.
Cook,
and
Zay.
that's what bothers
Cook,
me.
Zay.
Then nobody said, we take the mic from her. Take the mic from her.
Cook, Zay.
I don't care how much you go to the gym, how big your hair
Cook,
is. She
Zay.
was dead ass wrong for that.
But
Cook, Zay.
I hope you know that you are talking to your sisters.
Yeah, I'm
I hope you know
talking to my
that
sisters. Yeah.
because a lot of black men was talking about her too. And she a hoe. Why y'all listening to her? We was doing that.
One thing about
A
me,
lot of the times, black men get lashes for the stuff that we doing proactively. Y'all don't see the long term
It's
picture,
how-
bruh. We see it. Y'all, that's the one.
Why,
Yeah,
guys?
lashes is crazy.
God, man.
Hey,
We're
man.
gonna talk about Savory.
I'm not saying I
One way or
don't.
another.
I'm not saying I don't. I've always kind of stood on that. Like
Nah, he right, though.
I personally don't believe in them whole walks. I don't believe in none of that.
Them
Like
hoe walks.
I don't believe in that. Like
Nah, they really
you
have
would
a
never
next
catch me with a cape
There is
on.
a one.
A slut walk.
A slut walk or something
It's
with a
not gonna
cape
be
on.
one.
Like you're not gonna catch me like that.
It
But my
didn't go
thing
over like
is,
she thought.
and yes, I am talking to the females out there, and I don't care because one thing I'm gonna say, I'm gonna stand on it. Like if it's wrong, it's wrong. If it's right, it's right. Like when it comes down to our kids, I don't care who eat me up, who got to say anything.
Pause.
Protect the babies. Like whatever you choose to believe. Like sis, if you 35 years old out here talking about men ain't nothing, men ain't shit, and you sleeping with everybody else and their mama, looking for a man to pay your light
Pause
bill
again.
because you can't get up and go find a job, that's on you. But that girl is 16. Like you know what I'm saying?
I'm
So
talking.
yeah.
Talking.
I
You
digress.
bodied that. I ain't even gonna say nothing. Yeah, you got
She gonna pull up on you.
I have a comment, but
I got money on Zay.
I think maybe I'll be a devil's advocate on this, but I feel like because what she said, I think she's like a sacrificial lamb because she's putting herself out there and showing her everything, her
vulnerability.
She could have easily, which
Start
is the
taking
time when
accountability.
this is the was it the?
I don't think so.
This is when she's like, this is the heaviest for her because
temperature.
beginning when she was, it feels like it was very prideful. Like when she was saying like, it's like she's trying to own, but I could even tell back then, maybe because I'm older than her, but I could tell back then she was in pain. But now she's being a lot more vulnerable because she's telling you the real, and they do need to see that because if she was prideful, she'd be like, okay, I'm better now. I'm not gonna show them that because I already been showing them this, so I'm just gonna hide it and just be better. While those other girls, those same girls might be looking at her and be like, oh, she changed.
But they're not though, and it's.
But this is my.
I feel what B's saying though.
No,
but
I understand what you're saying.
Somebody might though. That's the important part. Somebody might.
already
After
see her
what
whole
detriment?
story.
After what?
But she
You done
already
went
done
out
had to
and
live
slept
and
with-
take them L's.
After what? You done had a baby at what? Like after what detriment to you? Because you was sitting here following this girl in her journey because she was putting it out to you that it was okay.
But you gotta think about it. When she was doing all that, how old was she?
She wasn't
Brittany Renner?
19. She wasn't 17. She wasn't 16.
get your
That
point
was
on.
a grown woman. She was just doing that a year ago. And my thing is this: I am very intelligent. Come on now, like these people are in the industry. These people live in Hollywood. Like you gotta, at some point, we have to address the fact that the government, these white people, the people who finance her career, who get her on, these people. This is just like Project Mockingbird in the United States of America. Our government, the CIA, is putting out to these journalists and these news outlets the same information, making them think that they got a news spill or something like that, and then all of a sudden you see every news channel putting out the same thing, and then you start to believe it because you're like, oh, it must be same way with these celebrities. All of a sudden you telling me Amber Rose, Brittany Renner, Krishan Rock, all these females were hoes, and now a year later everybody done found God. I'm sorry,
Well,
you
you
say
know,
that.
no,
But I'm
no,
just
no,
saying, you
no,
telling me
no,
all
no,
at the same
no,
time.
no.
It sounds,
The only
y'all
reason
don't
why
find
I'm
this
saying-
suspicious.
The reason why.
Kelly said, is this camera on me?
No.
Y'all don't find this suspicious?
No.
Like, come on now.
I hear you.
What I'm trying to say is, well, the thing about it is,
Okay.
Krishan Rock is, I don't think she was a hoe. She's just crazy. And then two, Amber Rose is still claiming whole life, and Brittany. That's what I say. You got to look at these people. These are not the same, and they might be using their own ignorance to push them. I don't think some secret agency said, "I need you to be this way." They are maybe exploiting them being vulnerable, and they're taking the narrative and pushing it out there. Nobody's displaying them for what it is.
I don't.
You know
feel
what I'm saying?
they're living
Like
life like this in real life, behind the scenes.
But realistically, but keep living because realistically, people don't stay the same. And so everybody, some people might change within a year because a lot can change and happen to a person in a year.
V, that's such
And
an
then-
auntie phrase.
But and then
Keep
there's some
living.
people,
Yeah.
and
Hey.
then there's some people who might take 6 years, 10 years, 20 years, or somebody that might not ever learn. But the thing is, the issue, what you're saying is, they're taking those people who's just being themselves, who has all these outlets. Unlike when I guess, at the beginning of our generation and before, we could make mistakes. It's not everywhere. Like if you heard about some of the stuff that happened with Diana Ross, Aretha Franklin, y'all would have been thinking these ladies are some hoes, but they got a lot of respect because there was no daggone social media. There was nothing to displays all of their stuff.
Hey, y'all.
I'm saying,
y'all are. Is that food I smell? Y'all. Shut up.
Hey, look, I'm trying to knock out.
But think about it. Lawrence Fishburne just did an interview where he said he was embarrassed. He just now admitting that everybody was like, wow, you did Ike Turner so well. Wow. And he said years ago he didn't want to tell people that actually he did the part so well because he used to beat up on his first wife and he didn't want people to cancel basically back then. But he said, I can say it now because people can actually see that I changed and they can respect who I am so they can take it. He said, if I would have told them that back then, they would have already cast me out and y'all wouldn't know me like that. Like,
and that's true. I get that. But what I'm saying is, and this is the reality of it, yes, there was no documentation like that, how there is back then, how there is now. And that's why I'm saying we have to be even 10 times, 100 times more careful.
Both of y'all.
Do you think they know that? Do you think they know that?
The same way you were saying when you get to a certain age, you get that $50,000 advance. What's the difference between a homeless man sleeping in his car and a homeless man that came from sleeping in his car to continuing to prosper in his
one knows better, the other one doesn't.
Both of y'all are
one
needed.
knows better, but at the same time,
Both
with
of y'all
a
are
certain
needed.
amount of money, with a certain amount of exposure, you have a responsibility to yourself
They might
to go
not know
and
that.
seek out. Yeah, bro.
Both.
you
Everybody
can't-
don't have that understanding or
with
that
being
perception.
exposed. I'm telling. I dropped out of high school when my second semester in my senior year. 3 times I had dropped out of high school. I've been in jail 5 times.
Damn.
You would never know.
But how many?
You
but,
would never
but
know.
That's a
But my
testimony.
thing is,
That's
look,
a testimony,
hear me,
right?
Yes, that's a testimony.
But
But
what
hear me
if you
out.
would've
Hear me
spoken
out.
about it
Hear
back
me
then?
out. Hear me out. Hear me out. Right. You would never know that because as I continue to grow, as God continues to bless me and say, hey, this is what I'm going to do for you and put you in. And I'm not trying to get religious or nothing.
No,
when I
because
got in
it's-
certain rooms, being in a room with y'all and the conversations that we have, I say, okay, I analyze where I'm at. I'm looking at you. I'm looking at her. I'm looking at him. Okay, these are intelligent people. At some point, I have to start changing the way I think. I have to cultivate myself because I want to fit into this space. I like where I'm at. I'm going to fit into my space. You can't tell me that this girl, Brittany Renner, has been surrounded by only female, like just only female. At no point in her success, she has came across anybody who had.
I'll put it this way, because the only reason why I said that is because she started when she was on B Simone podcast. No, for sure. When she went up there, they were the first women, and she even said that up there. You were the first women that I feel safe enough and vulnerable. And she cried about it, and then they said she said, I have not been around anybody. This is the first time I've had an outlook. So that's what I'm saying. We are only being like we are only wearing our flaws in front of everybody, and it's either the media is going to take it where they usually take black people and the image is negative. It's our responsibility to show ourselves in a certain light, in a certain way. They are all women that made mistakes within their own way. We're the only ones that criticize them in the way instead of showing like this is real. This is real life, and there's a real people that are living like that.
Y'all are talking around each other. Both of y'all are needed. The understanding that you got, Zay, when you went through your trials and tribulations is the grace that V is talking about. Both of y'all are needed. It's levels to it. We need black women to hold black women accountable to the degree that you're saying.
Yes.
And then on the back end, we need V's of the world to
Allow
embrace
for that
them
growth.
when they want to when they want to change their
grow.
mind. And I agree with you because it's more problematic when these women are talking all this toxic stuff. It gets propagated.
Yeah.
That clip that we just played isn't going to be broadcasted the same way all our other ones was for a reason because we don't have the infrastructure to control our own narrative.
Yeah.
So I think that what Zay is saying is more important, but I do think both of y'all are necessary.
Dang,
we
Chris
wouldn't
said
have
he
a
don't
Zay.
think
We
it's
wouldn't have a Zay without the grace that you're talking
I
about.
think like Amber Rose situation, she still needs to be held accountable. Why are you still saying this whole?
She white.
That's but okay.
She want to be black.
But you know,
she
what
want to be black.
I'm saying. But the point that I'm
I know
saying
what you're
is,
talking about, but I
she
don't
is
give a
still
fuck
spewing
about
that negative that
Yeah.
hoe is life.
And we're listening to her.
And then there's I feel like the people that needs grace is the ones who saying like, no, that's wrong. We can't keep spitting them like, nah, go back over there and stay over there and stay in that whole life. She's saying I don't want to do that. That was wrong.
We need power.
I respect all
We
that.
need power, bro.
19-year-old boy, like I just do not have no sympathy when it comes down to people, and you see that they're purposely targeting younger adults and children.
need
like
power.
I don't have no
Listen,
sympathy.
I hate her too. I hate her too.
Her, Alexis
Listen,
Sky.
I really hate her too because she's always loud and wrong. However, what she just said in the clip, those things that she mentioned were not wrong. So it's like,
Yeah, they killing.
you
the
can get a
message.
good message from any fucking body.
Facts.
You can learn something.
Don't throw out the
from
baby
anybody.
with the bathwater.
Yeah, and that's what we were saying about Kevin
Y'all got
Samuels
these
too.
old ass sayings today.
Y'all, we took it all the way back. We redlined it.
I'm glad y'all got him for saying that because if I had said that shit, hell no.
These old ass
All right,
sayings.
last
We
clip.
getting old,
I'm
y'all.
only doing one of these. Which one y'all want to do? Y'all want to do the Crew season one, or do y'all want to do
Let's
the
go black men dating outside their race.
Okay.
Ooh,
Yeah.
I love
Hey,
it.
hey, okay,
I
well,
got the numbers right here.
Wait.
I'm waiting for it.
Let's talk about it.
Oh my! Bro, please.
Please don't lie.
Do y'all date white women?
Oh, do I've dated one white woman.
Why?
Yeah, I have.
Why?
You can't like white girls? Why? You
I'm asking why. What was the part? Why?
I liked her.
Why? What did you like about them?
We connected on a personal level. And
About what?
About a lot of things. Like
About what?
Like
Black women like to interrogate like white
what
women.
she is saying.
I'm asking a question.
No,
Like,
let me talk. Like, what y'all eat? How y'all shower?
No, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about like.
not what y'all eat, because I know that food ain't seasoned.
Okay.
But anyways, what else?
Why y'all be killing? I had this. This is exactly what I said the last
You're
time.
not lying.
I wasn't lying, and the black people came at me hard for telling the truth. Like, what would be wrong with me? What would be wrong with me dating a white woman? What is the problem?
Because they can't understand how you feel.
I liked her company. She understand how I feel, and she was cultured in a way.
Culture? What does that mean? You had to culture her?
No. I'm saying I didn't even have to culture her. I'm saying she knew.
Your daughter here ain't gonna be corn.
Huh? What? I'm saying I'm not dating a white woman now. I'm saying she knew.
Would you marry a white woman?
I wouldn't. I couldn't tell you that. I would marry the person that would be for me, to be honest.
So that could be yes.
Don't let them bully you, bro.
No, the personality we match.
That's like the main thing, yeah.
Yeah. For me, it's personality. Color doesn't matter to me. Y'all would date somebody exclusive because they're black? That makes no sense.
Yes. No. Yes. I wouldn't. They probably wouldn't.
That's a contradiction.
I don't discriminate.
That doesn't make sense.
I just know that.
I love y'all for that. Good. I'm glad.
Okay. And maybe that's you. But why would y'all interrogate a man that found love in a different race? For
It's just typically black men who date white women or just outside their race in general. Like, it's literally always some underlying issues going on.
I have no underlying issues. I
don't know that.
Do y'all date white women?
I don't know if I like that clip, but let's talk about it. Black men dating white women. I've never been with a white woman, so I can't speak.
I think the appeal is that they are generally a little softer.
They're using.
They're not. You're not coming up to this white woman like she's your adversary sometimes, and it can feel that way when you're dating a black woman because we have so many scars and traumas and da-da-da that we haven't dealt with because we don't know how, blah, blah, blah. Conversation we were having earlier, rewind it. But white women don't have those same traumas.
So y'all call
so
us kings, but they treat us like kings? That's what you're saying?
Wait a minute.
Sure.
For one, they're using y'all.
They're using us?
They're using y'all.
What are they using us for?
I'm
That
just
BBC?
saying they're softer
That
on the
BBC?
outside.
Oh,
They
these
don't
mixed
have the
babies.
rough edges.
They need your
fucked them
what
up
did she
yet.
say? Semen retention?
They're using us for that
Better
BBC?
use
right?
it.
They probably are.
They're
but
using y'all.
it's give and take.
White women have been taught to marry for status. They're not just marrying you because they like the way you look or they think you're soft to hold at night. They're using y'all.
For what?
For what?
Come on
Yeah,
now.
I'm like,
Your
for evil?
babies. Because if you
They want
look,
beautiful brown babies.
it's
They do want
soon
brown
white
babies.
people are going to be the minority, and they've been talking about, if you Google it, Google it.
Yeah, no, that's fact.
They're
That's
using
fact.
y'all, and I feel like at
2054,
some
something
point
like that.
with white women that date black men, it comes across as a fetish.
White women that date black.
Yeah,
just
it
genuinely
comes
lie.
across as a fetish, and there might be some that genuinely just
What's wrong with your
like
partner
you,
being your
but
fetish?
it comes across as she feels like she has
he's
a
the
certain.
monster.
What's wrong with that?
feels like she has a certain type
This
of
guy,
status to speak on things or to relate to certain things or to act a certain way because you're laying
My
down with a
husband's
black
black.
man at night, and just because you're married or in a relationship with a black person does not mean you're not racist or you don't
racist.
discriminate.
You are letting this man
I
down.
Jamal.
I don't want to do
digress.
that. I don't want to do it that way. I hear what you're saying. I don't want to do it that way because I want to give credit where it's due. These white women that end up marrying black men,
Okay, Lydia.
most of them are men.
Okay,
They're men.
Lydia.
The white women are not marrying the fuck niggas. Because we're too busy fucking the fuck niggas.
I like what you're saying. But we've seen.
They're taking the good ones because they're
digress.
soft and they are what they have the qualities, the softness that the men, black or not, want. They have those qualities already, so they're going out and finding the men that we want to be with, but we're not healed enough to get.
Or the guys that y'all think, hold
Cook
up,
it
or the
up.
guys that y'all think are corny,
do they-
or the guys that y'all think he not cool enough, his energy don't match, he don't got BDE when I
They
walk in the
gonna kill
room,
us.
all
Do
that
like her.
stuff. They are, but it's the truth.
Do you think they have the qualities or do they have the appearance?
Either way,
I think
can
they
we
have the
talk
qualities.
about how wonderful and beautiful and amazing a whole, healed, corny or not, black man is when he's fully realized? That's attractive to any fucking race. Anybody.
That's the thing that a
And
lot
got
of
good
women,
dick.
Cook, Liddy.
a lot of our
I'm
women
about to
like.
say, I don't know what to say.
She's trying to get her cut clip too.
She trying to get look.
Okay,
I gotta step my shit up.
Let me get mine.
I have another
A lot of
question.
black women don't like that.
Go
I
ahead,
have,
V.
I have a question.
Go ahead, V. Y'all
Just
have
for
10 minutes.
For the men.
10 minutes.
For the men. Okay, so
I'm scared.
women give access to sex, right?
For sure.
And men give access to relationships.
100%.
So you mean to tell me the black men are giving access to these women to have a relationship with them, not black
Because of
women?
the way they're showing up, as Lydia just addressed. Yeah.
But let me say. So that means that okay? So which ones are more loyal, black women or black men?
Okay,
Who's more loyal
can
to
I
what?
say this?
Race?
No, based on that, who is more loyal? If you
more black men are married to more black women.
That's 100%.
no, but I'm saying based off of what you
You
said.
just asked me who's more loyal. So if we're saying what makes them loyal, who's getting married? What
Or you
in
mean
what
more
way?
loyal in like black women? A lot of them are like, I want a black man. You're saying the conviction they have to stay within the race.
Now, mind you,
But that's why I said
think-
who's marrying who, because
numbers
if
do
we're,
that.
if we're
But do
more
they-
married, then who's more loyal, to be honest? We're
You're
marrying
trying
the
to say
black
black
women.
You said you brought up some statistics, right?
That is a stat.
That's right here.
That is a stat.
So how many? Now, mind you, I didn't look this up. I only heard this from Dr. Umar, but he was like statistically more black men date outside their race than any other race.
Ooh,
That's not true.
I honestly
That's
can
not
believe
true?
that.
We
So
are-
based
but
on
we-
what you
believe
looked up,
that.
It's a thing that black men are
Oh, no, I thought you
appeal to
meant
more
married.
races
They
than
outside-
any
yeah,
other
you're
man.
right.
yeah. So
Yeah,
that,
But that's what. So how do we define who's being loyal?
Get married.
When we're saying
he didn't say
married,
that, though.
there's more black men that are married to black
no,
women.
no,
than
that
otherwise.
that
Yeah.
I get. I mean, that
Both
makes
can be
sense. There's
true.
more black
Yeah,
men.
both- no, both can be true.
It makes
I
sense.
didn't hear the first
It makes
part.
sense, but that's
You're
what I
right.
was saying. I was like, so if there's more black men that date outside their race, yet there's more white men than there are black men, and they are more likely to date within their race. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That like,
But
but
to what Lydia was saying, the guy that is corny, the guy that all these other things that black women don't find attractive, the other women are still like, oh no, he's a good man. At the,
The
end of the day,
programming is
he's a
different.
good man.
The programming is different.
I still want to be with him.
and I'm now, mind you, I'm not against people falling in love with who you fall in love with. I'm not against that. But I do also, but I do think that men have a little bit more of a choice in who you fall in love with. It's not just, oh wow, ding, it just and I saw how soft and feminine. Some men, I mean, I don't know, I'm not a man, I don't know what's up against on internally, but I'm like, there's nothing that's like hard. Like I don't get a daggone who feminine that she is. I'm gonna find a feminine black woman. If I gotta take me this long, if I can wait this long to get my money up, then I can wait to get a feminine black woman or to a certain point. Now, you saying like, well, it just somehow connection happened and it just so happened to like knowing everything. I get it. It's not that simple. It's very more complex, and I get it. Stuff happen. I'm not against it, but I'm just saying
Okay.
these are things to think about.
Let me ask y'all a question. I was gonna say something else, but y'all say the most important thing is to love yourself, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if a black man comes into his own and he's loving himself and he finds a woman that treats him right and helps him maintain his peace, that's him loving himself.
Yes,
we
I
don't
agree.
say anything to y'all when y'all go and love yourself in whatever way that looks. If a black man, if y'all say black men should love themselves and it looks like that and the white woman was just the first person to the party, it is what it is.
Or even the passport.
And I wanted
Why-
to speak to
the
y'all
passport
statistics.
bros.
It's just about the rate of pull. Black men are more attractive than any other man on the planet to the whole wide range of white women, Spanish women, Chinese women. We are more appealing to the whole world globally.
It's
so
genetics.
both can be true.
Why-
We tend to marry y'all more, but on the back end we can still hold up this stat that we get to take all the other racist women too, and we broke, right?
But-
So we can do it all broke.
So let me ask you a question.
Why do you think that
So let me
is,
let me
though?
ask you a question.
That's funny.
Let me ask you a question. So because this is what I hear from not from you guys, but I've heard from men. They were like, you know, women, they're not that smart. Y'all doing this. Every black woman I know is like, we want a black man. We want a black man. We want a black man. I know some black women who refuse to
I
date
disagree.
anybody, who refuse to date anybody outside their race because they're waiting for a
It
black
sounds
man.
good. No.
Right? No, look, listen, let me finish my statement before you say that. They're waiting, right? And they're waiting. But what if all of those women that are waiting just say, you know what? I'm just going to go with the first masculine man. It doesn't matter if he's black. And it might be stupid on our part from y'all parents. Like, why y'all waiting for this type of man? You know, why y'all waiting for y'all? Y'all just need to go get what's yours.
what's
Do it.
masculine?
No, hold on,
But
bro.
what's
If
the problem
it was
comes
about,
in-
if it was
Speak
about
on
them
that.
finding a good black man, they would be finding good black
that's what
men.
I'm saying.
They don't want to just
'Cause
find
you
a
said-
good black
you
man.
said-
that
He
goes-
needs to
wait,
have 8 other things before and be a good
That's
black man.
not
But she
true,
did- no,
though.
but she just
It
said,
is true.
She just said, why not wait for that feminine black woman, right? No matter how long it takes, but y'all be quick to like if a string of black guys have done a girl wrong, they be like, nah, and they like see a white guy, they're like, oh yeah. Go ahead, date whatever his name is. Date Billy, or go ahead, get especially
Kevin.
right. Especially if it's like a white guy with swag or something like that. Oh yeah, Travis Kelce.
For one,
they love Travis Kelce.
What's
Channing Tatum.
Channing Tatum with Tom Hanks' son. Oh, y'all
they don't like Tom Hanks' son.
Y'all
not Tom
No,
Hanks.
they do. No, they do. Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
And his patois.
And that patois. Yes, they do.
We just talked about the quality. We in a whole nother subject. We just talked about how there is a lot of quality of black men that is very low. We just talked about it. Now we're saying it's a bunch of black men. So which one is it?
No, because if I'm an average dude and I make $40K, but I'm a good man, most women are not going to want that guy.
He's not masculine. That's why
he's not a whole bunch of stuff.
That's why I said
that is true.
That's not like who.
If we go look at all Kevin Samuels clips, you ain't initiated. You ain't seen none of them.
Man.
They didn't want that guy.
You can't speak.
He could be a super good dude. They don't want him. They don't want that dude. They don't want to build with him. They don't want to watch him really grind. They don't even want to meet him where he's at.
I don't feel like that's the majority of black. I feel like that is a handful.
And I just was saying,
that is a handful.
Y'all men just agree that there's
also the handful. The majority.
I have a question. Why do y'all feel like it's easier for a black man to get a white woman versus a black woman to get a white man?
Because they don't want y'all like that.
They don't want y'all. Yeah.
I beg to differ.
No, they're attracted to y'all.
We
gotta marry y'all.
No, yes, exactly. When we say get, we're not talking about just sexually. We're talking about stay with you, be with you, marry you.
They equate their attraction to retention.
Yes,
they don't marry y'all. They don't keep
retention was a great point.
Y'all are a fetish to them.
They'll definitely go out with you, go on a trip with you, but will they marry you?
But it ain't gonna be in my house.
And the white
why do
dudes,
y'all feel like that is
the white dudes that end up marrying the black woman, he's probably marrying a black woman that is soft as well. So it doesn't fucking matter what color. It's about how the woman is showing up.
No.
Is she healed?
They be masculine black women.
Well, that's
Tika Sumner. What's her other name?
Yuck.
I'm only using these as an examples, not
4 minutes.
because they're
I gotta get out of here.
But I'm saying Tika Sumner and her husband. There's not. I don't know them personally, but from what I've seen, neither one of the men is like super masculine. I think they both interchange between feminine and masculine. So this whole masculine, she's more feminine, she's more masculine. A superior man is both. So I don't know where this whole mess going on. Well, this white woman is so soft. So you mean tell me only white women? There's no Arabic, there ain't no Samoan, there ain't no
Asian.
That's what I'm saying.
That's why I brought up the passport bros. That's why men are leaving the U.S. to go find not even just modern women in general in the Western world. They flying out to go find women with more traditional values because y'all want us to be traditional at the end of the day. Y'all want us to take care of y'all, pay the bills, be a protector, provider, all those things.
Not majority of them are like
and other races, other races are experiencing the same stuff we talk about.
Facts.
We're not the only people experiencing all this.
But yet the men are loyal even when the women are masculine. They don't give a daggone. They be like, I don't care. If it didn't work for them, I'm gonna get another white woman. I'm gonna get another Susan. I'm gonna get another whatever. But they're not going to.
No,
she's right on that. In Indian culture, Asian cultures, even white people by default. I don't care. If it doesn't work out with Susan, I'm gonna go get Karen.
She is right.
I'm not gonna go from Shamika to Karen.
We are the only race that does
that. They said we don't stay.
What's the stat that we are majority married to black women?
Yeah,
but I'm saying that. But out of even as we are the minority in America. The men are the highest rate to date outside their race.
But not married.
We have been penetrated by problematic programming.
Okay, I've not been penetrated but I'm telling you that's not okay. That's the only reason why we bring it. That's why we're bringing it up.
Let's just say this. We don't know what happens after you die, yo. We don't know. We got one life to live. I'm not with a black man throwing away his whole life waiting for some magical black woman to drop down from the sky. I'm not. I'm going to say that, and I can say that proudly because I got a ring on my finger. I'm the only person in the room who got one. So let's no. Everybody shut the fuck up. Everybody shut up. No.
Why are you shooting at us for?
Chris said, "Everybody shut up right now." I'm the only one that's mad in this bitch.
You ain't got one. But the joke is cool. But we say we results driven.
No, you ain't. No, we ain't lying, bro.
Get him, Chris.
I'm shutting line up. You right. Let me put my jacket.
So that means you're supporting what I'm saying.
The only thing I'm saying, B, is I'm telling my little brother, right? Because I'm in this whole situation where I got family that's single. I want y'all to find a black woman. I really
We
do.
all want you to
but
find
I'm
a
not
black
gonna denigrate
woman.
you, bro. You got one life to live. You find a woman that treats you right, man, get out of here, bro.
Okay, but what do you think the other races are doing? They're not saying, well, if you
I don't
feel
care.
you find
I don't care.
you
I
find the
don't
next
care.
one. They say, I
They
don't
not
give a
us.
daggone.
They
You
say,
better.
Don't bring nobody to my house.
Right.
Don't
It's
bring
not-
nobody to my
no,
house.
that goes into that little pocket of responsibility that y'all hold. It's not just our responsibility.
I'm not taking away. I'm not taking away. I'm trying to
Y'all
stay.
want-
I'm trying to stay on the subject
We are.
about black men dating outside their race. If we're talking about men dating outside your race, you're not seeing an Asian man leaving Soo Young
V,
or
that's but V,
Keisha.
but
You
V,
seeing him leaving
but I
Soo
don't know.
Young?
That's
or-
That's negated.
I don't
by
know.
the
It might be.
That's negated by the stat.
Failing.
But V,
He
that's
is not going to another race. He will not do it. He would rather die before he goes
He's
to
right.
another
But
race
why?
because
She's
he
right.
tries within his own race.
All that stuff is negated by the fact that the
I agree with
majority
her.
of black men are married to black women. That's why I
Yeah,
said the
that's
thing
the
about
fact.
the ring on my finger. She's not white.
Yeah.
Most of us are dating black women.
If she was, you probably would have still married.
I mean,
Is what
well,
you're saying.
No.
Anyway.
No,
I'm
I
not.
mean,
I'm
that's what
not
They can-
trying to. I'm not.
both can
I
be in
don't want to.
alignment.
I don't
All
want
right,
to
we're gonna do like
neglect.
BT and wrap it
I
up.
don't want to. I don't want to neglect. I'm not saying this. I'm not saying this to. I'm not saying this to reel into black men like you don't marry them. What I'm saying is, if you are the minority and the majority of the men who date outside their race, as the minority in the United States, is mainly black men. That is showing something, and it's okay. It's a hard pill to swallow.
No,
and if we understand where it comes
Find
from,
out on the
but
next
I'm bringing
episode
it
of
to your
Dragon Ball
attention
Z.
so
I
you
think
can
the
pay
harder
attention
pill to
that
swallow is that
maybe I should wait a little
episode is
longer or
over.
have that much pride in my own race.
Yeah,
I
I'm
don't
about to
give a
end it, but
goddamn on.
please.
If I don't find a Keisha or a good Shamika, then I'm gonna wait till I find one or not because all the other ones have resolved like that, and we don't. That's what I'm saying.
But again, that's what I'm saying. We arguing around the point that most black men are related, are married to black women. But end it, bro.
There's a middle.
We can't negate that fact.
I just said that is kudos. I'm just saying we have to pay attention.
But what is the guy
It's
that?
important.
What is the guy that's not? He's not getting the energy from the girls that want to go have babies with
goes
Ray
back
Ray and
to-
Pookie.
it
I can't
goes
marry
back
you after
to-
you done had
it
two
goes
babies.
back to Steven, who's not getting it from Susan.
We
He's gonna
have-
get a Karen.
That's why I said we have the most pull, so both can be true.
Well, they
We
the
can-
ones that be getting all the babies.
LaDasha.
The 25% of us can go pull the Spanish woman, the white woman, all that stuff, but the other 75% are gonna marry black women.
26.
I think, but that's what I'm saying. I think it's both of them can be true.
Yeah.
It
It's
is
never
true.
going to be 100%. It's never,
Alright.
especially when your success
V,
rate
You
is that
guys
high.
argue in the comments. V is going to be here more
Take
for the pod. You bodied it today. You did well as well. Zaina has been offered. She's supposed to be coming to the pod.
I'm here to
like our
pod,
rate of
y'all.
marriage. Like, that's what I'm saying.
Hey, make sure. Hold on.
They just it's the pessimist.
Like, subscribe, hit the bell. We got to get out of here. I'm sorry to cut this story short. This episode a little. Well, it ain't short, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Leave your comments. Argue with them in the comments. Why are black men out there dating what other women? I don't know. I'm with
Because
them.
they ain't.
Because we can.
I'm just fucking.
Definitely at me in the comments.
1/3.
Ooh.
That's hey, she the whitest girl I've ever been with. I ain't never touched a white girl.
I mean,
God.
I can't with you.
I'm fine fucking with you.
I have a very I'll leave my comment down there. I'll pin it to the top.
Shoot at all these people. Shoot at them.
Hello, podcast, Daddy.